Hello, welcome sketchbook heroes and sketchbook warriors. We're here to practice today, and we'll be practicing our drawing for the first hour, cartoons for the first hour, and then getting slightly more advanced after that. So we've got our dog here. We've got a dog set up. Well, let's turn it around. Here we go. Let's make sure it's in a good spot. I had the camera set up. Let me actually have it zoomed. There we go, and then put it back. There's our dog. There's a grid version and the drawing version. These drawings come from Damien Toll. So his books I've seen them on Amazon. So a lot of good stuff for beginning drawing. And of course, we are working on getting all of these resources together for you and curating them so you can have them. And spotlight.
Can you put the spotlight, the book? I can take
this. There we go. Is that better?
No, I'm talking about the name.
Oh, the name. Oh, okay, cool. The name.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damien Toll.
Damien Toll. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, Damien Toll, and this is over 80 drawings to master. Really neat stuff. And this is just like for beginning to intermediate. And it breaks things down like we do. We break things down into shapes and into spaces and to form.
I'm thinking about Christmas present.
So yeah. Yeah, it would be pretty good. All right, so here we go. So again, we were talking about the body, how it fits in this square just about. You can see these 4 squares, another square there. And we'll do that. All right, so that's how I'm going to start off with this square here, and then just add everything else to it. So you can see without having to do all the grids, which is kind of a little bit time consuming, you can almost freehand it. Let me see, make sure everything fits. Let me see, 1 second. Starting off with a square. Let's see, there we go, that should fit. So we've got our square here. Hold on, oh, there we go. I see my screen now. Trying to make everything fit. That's it. Okay. You might have to move this paper. Perfect. So starting off with a square, that gives me and depends on how accurate you want it to be too. If you want it to be exact, then yeah, put the grids. But if it's just practice, you want to just aim for it. And when it comes to, if you want it to be exact, then draw out the grids. Because then by the time you draw out the grids and all that stuff, it takes a little more time. You really want to do, when you're first learning, is quantity over quality. You really want to get a lot of quantity. Just draw, get all the bad drawings out, put that pencil mileage in there. So you can see I divided my square into smaller squares, and I can already kind of get that body. So the body is at an angle here. It's this body part right here, and it kind of fits right in there. It probably goes above that square a little bit, and it's at this angle, and it does taper as well too. So you can see how sketchy I'm doing it, and I can sketch it out. Here we go. Let's see how it's going from wide to smaller, and that bean shape is the body right in there, right? So you can see that bean shape for that body. And then the legs go pretty straight down right in here. They're straight down. And then I can put the legs together, the feet together, like right in here. I'm going to block everything in. I'm just going to block everything in. And the more you practice this, you just do it really quick. And it really gets your drawings to be more accurate. All right, so these legs are coming out. And they kind of taper out from back here, right in that back part of the square, down, and then they curve out, and then down. This curve is really important right here. This little sound effects curves out and down. And what's awesome about learning and drawing animals is that they're all very similar. They all have like a similar thing here. If we have a longer neck, you make a giraffe, you can turn it around a little bit. They all have the torso, the pelvis, the different parts. And then actually this is a good leading into drawing people, right? Drawing people. I'm drawing the leg already. I'm tapering it, and I'm drawing that shape in there, tapering it, and then bringing it down. Oh, and then the feet. So these are a little further apart than the ones in the front. There's one here and then the other one right in there. And they're just like half circles, really. Half circles. All right, there it is. Then here we're going to go with the head. The head swoops up above up here, right above our square, swoops up. This swoops up and forward. Let's see. Oh, this one goes a little bit more forward. And there we go. And then the head, we can just stick it in there. That's the head is going to be like an oval right about there. Now, the placement is important. The placement, let's bring this down. The placement of the head is important. There's about like a head space above it, so or below it. See, there's a head space, because you can have the proportions right. You can have the size of the head, which if I measure it here, it's about that thickness. I can bring it over. It's a little bit smaller than our square there. Here, smaller than our square, but you can see that proportions. And then you can see it come up from right in there. Come up. And there it is, that dog. It's a Dalmatian. Dalmatian. It's the Dalmatian nation, the 101 Dalmatians. And then the snout does come out a little bit more. You have that oval, and then you have the snout comes out. And it's good to see the relationship. So right when I have all that my sketch in really quick, like this, let's add that tail in here as well, kind of like swooping out here. Is it fitting on my screen? Yeah, barely. Although I have all this paper left. I have a good foundation of where everything's kind of going to go. And now I can double check to see where things are, how it looks. I know that the ear is going to probably be right in here. And like it's almost like a triangle shape, the ear. And I want to go in here and double check everything. Check the flow of the line too, like the flow of this drawing. And you can see there's the dog coming in pretty quickly, pretty accurately, I would say too. Let's scoot it over a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and, Dalmatian. I'm going to use a different color, or should we do a marker? Ooh, a purple marker. I have a purple marker here. Although I like black. I do have a black, because of the Dalmatian. I do have this black micron pen. It's a very fine point. It's a 0.01, something like that, '01. All right, I'm going to start from the top of the head and then just bring it down. I can already see that the head is a little different shape. I really, let me see, let's see. I did want to talk, about the spacing. Make sure your spacing is there. Make sure kind of all the structure is kind of there, and then we'll get the details. All right, so my top of my head is coming down at an angle a little bit right in there like that. There's the top, and then it comes right there, the forehead swoops down, and then probably sticking out too much. So I'm going to bring it in a little bit. Just bring it in a little bit. See, and then it's got this great big smile that comes in and goes up just like that and fits in that space. All right, and there's really nice thick and thin lines in here. If you really want to shoot for that accuracy, get those thick and thin lines of the line quality that the artist used. They don't really have it or show it up here, but if you look at the final piece, you can see that line quality, really interesting line quality. If you're beginning, I wouldn't worry about it. If you're want to shoot for accuracy, then you can try doing that. I wouldn't worry about the nose. Let's get that eye in here. You can see how it's fallen in there. That ear comes down, then back out. It's like this triangle or Dorito shape. It's like a Dorito shape right in there. There we go. And it's just curved. You want to see the triangle really, and then just see those little curves. I'm going to go ahead and do the eye. But I have everything pretty much blocked out, which is good. And I kind of look back and forth, making sure looking for accuracy. I'm going to probably zoom in on the eye because you really can't see that eye too well. Let's zoom in, bring it down. But just because of the detail of the eye, let's see, and then I'll zoom back out. So you have that eye shape right there. And basically it looks like it's a triangle, kind of like a triangle shape, like this triangle. And then it's the pupil. So there's a little bit of a pupil in here. So you want to try to capture that pupil and that triangle, and then everything else around it's kind of like shaded. So I mean, it feel like I'm doing surgery here. So that's a little tight. I would probably, there we go. That's what's happening for that kind of eye. Yeah. Yeah, that's the best I can do. There we go. I gotta draw bigger, or we gotta figure this out. Figure this out so I can help everybody. As that's my purpose. My purpose is to help everybody. The least you should know. My lessons aren't there. This is just practice. We're here, we're just practicing, having fun. When I put the lessons together, then it'll make more sense. And the lessons will be coming soon. Lessons will be coming soon. All right, so I like the head, the height and the width, the ratio. There are spots in the nose. We can put the nose in real quick. The nose, and it's got a little bit of a highlight in there. So shade it, leave that little white spot. And he's got another spot, Dalmatian, almost the greatest nation. The greatest nation is imagination. I think using your imagination and drawing this from memory. See if that would be a good exercise. And also, we kind of ignore a little bit imagination drawing. We do it every once in a while, but it's important to do as well, drawing from your imagination, from memory. Imagining this dog in a different angle and trying to draw this dog from a different angle, that really helps and really pushes your brain and to see space. Yeah, what's great about this dog too is it's a side view, and that simplifies things. All right, now if I look at my head and I can see the body, I can see that I need to move the neck back and back here too, because I can see it coming off that ear right about there, and it's coming off the neck or the chin right about there. So you can see I can make these adjustments and see how it all fits. Drawing is like a puzzle. Everything's shapes. Everything's shapes. Learning to see the shapes, learning to see how it all fits. There we go. And it's got a nice flow as it flows up. Maybe pulls back just slightly. Right in there. And then the neck. And I'm just more than just drawing a line. I'm drawing a shape, because I already have this line. And then when I'm drawing this line, I kind of see the shape. And if you can feel the form, that's even better. That's more advanced. Start off with shapes, and then the next level is form. Here we go to the pelvis. If you can feel that pelvis, it's in there. Right in there. I've seen the bones, and the bone structure is very similar to a human. And the pelvis is in there. Nice scratchy dog. Coming down here, this leg. And this leg back here, there's a little bit of overlap. Do this back hind leg. There we go. And there's these just little curves. I mean, I'm feeling this form. Actually, it actually pushes out here slightly. I'm gonna put a little arrow. It pushes out there just slightly. And then it shoots down, boom, right in there, like a chicken leg. Actually, if you can feel this, actually chicken leg here, let me, this shape in here, boom, right in there. If we were to continue, all right, with the green. There's that back leg. Our bomber is gone. Here, there's a little bit of overlapping. Some people when they sign up, we're asking about space, creating things in space, creating perspective. I don't know if we'll definitely can talk about it right now, and I call it space pods. PODS, space pods. You got to practice your space pods. And what space pods are is placement. P stands for placement. And what that means is things that are lower are closer. Things that are higher up, even just this much higher up, just a little bit, it's further back on your paper. See how this is higher up than this foot? So this makes it further back in space. And you got to know space pods before you even get into perspective. Space pods. You also angles. Learn to see angles and learn to draw from life. And that's where you're drawing angles when you're looking at something straight. Like my cassettes here, you see it's straight. So all your angles are pretty straight. And then when you start moving it in space, the angles change, right? You can see these angles change, and things that are actually some space pods are happening here. So P is placement, things that are lower or closer. And then O is for overlapping, like here, this leg, this foot. So this one's in front. So there's overlapping just right in here, just a little bit of overlapping. This leg is in front and this one is behind. So that's O for overlapping. Space pods and the O, and then there's D, detail. Things that are further back usually have less detail. Now, yeah, less detail. Here's the tail. Making all these connections here. Now this leg, I had to give it some more form. This one I had it straight, but once I saw the form, I can imagine the chicken leg behind here, or this drumstick behind in there, overlapping behind that shape. So there's that foot. Make sure to get that drumstick shape. All right, let's see. Let's move our paper up a little bit. All right, let's get this leg. This leg almost vertical, straight up and down, but it does come back at an angle slightly. It does come back slightly at an angle, and then it goes forward. Yeah, see right in there. Oh. So we got P for placement, O for overlapping, which you can see the overlapping, something in front of something. Overlapping is everywhere. Look at behind, my hand is in front of my paper's in front of my table, and so on and so forth till eternity. Yeah, there's always something in front, something behind, background, foreground, middle ground. Right, so and right here, actually, this leg actually goes in front. So just even this little line right there suggests that this leg goes in front of the body, and this leg is in front of the body here. So placement, overlapping, detail, and then my favorite is size and shading, but mostly size. So things that are closer are bigger, like this foot here, it's bigger. And then things that are further away are smaller. So this foot back here, maybe it's just slightly smaller than the one up here in the front, right? The one in the front should probably be a little bit bigger. And then in the one, there we go. And there's the bell, whatever that means. So even just this close, you can put your hand one closer that's bigger, and then one that's further away is smaller. And you can play with that. This hand is bigger. That one, and just by, it's really fascinating. The world around us, learning to see, learning to observe. And artists use that size to use, and then perspective really just comes in. Like, oh, okay, and you understand it. Because this is flat. This is flat. And artists have to create that illusion of space. So how do they do it? Well, space pods. All right, that's it. Oh, the tail and the spots. All right, detail goes last. Try to get the big shapes. This line here just goes straight out. And then the second line, that's the one you want it to taper. It's more than just a line. We're actually creating a shape, creating that shape as it tapers, and learning to see the shape as you draw the second line. That's the skill. That's the skill. There it is. I'm happy with it. I'm pretty happy. Looks pretty accurate. I'm looking back and forth. It's probably pushing the neck out a little bit. I might have moved the head back a little bit. No, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's about the process. If you wanted to do it accurately, we'd draw the squares out. It would take longer, but it's all good. All right, so I'm just going to throw the spots in. We'll start from the top here. If you want to throw different designs, feel free. Get it. Use your imagination. Use your creativity. You have a creative license. Congratulations. I hereby, by the state of California and whatever state you're in, do declare. I give you the license of creativity and use your imagination. Create a story. I think there was a story with the grasshopper. That's right. The grasshopper has tennis shoes. That's funny. We'll draw that one after the next one. Let's finish up this dog. I'm just drawing the spots. I'm trying to see the placement where they're at. The placement here, this one, right about there, about that size. Over here. Doesn't really, I mean, if we're off a little bit, unless you're the Dalmatian's mom, nobody's going to know that the spots are slightly off. But yeah, it's good to shoot for accuracy. It's like you're shooting at a basket. You're not always going to make that basket, but you want to always have like a direction. the size, the position, the shape of these spots. This happy dog. So yeah, this is what I call a rough drawing. Rough. All right. Yeah, I know. Trying to keep people awake, entertained. Yeah, no, it's trying to be interesting. Let me make sure. Oh, we have half our people here. Let me see in the chat. Make sure my chat's open in case somebody wants to have questions. Oh yeah, there it is. Questions or suggestions or want me to repeat something because we are live. We are live. Here we go. Spot. If you're struggling with something, it is really about the struggle. It's good to have a little bit of a struggle. But if you're struggling too much, I can simplify or know where you're at. Say, okay, I'm ready for form. I've been doing shapes. And you go at your own pace. That's right. See, the universe is telling us every time we every time we say a truth, there's a bell that goes off, and an angel gets his wings. It's almost that season. Yeah, bit. 'Tis the season. Yeah, seeing Christmas stuff. Actually, since Halloween. Jumping the gun. It's all good, actually. I think we did mention last week that Thanksgiving's coming, and it's good to be grateful and thankful. Attitude of gratitude. Has it been already 2 years? Are we 2 years or 1 year? I don't know. I've been doing this, I think 2 years. Doing this online drawing. I don't know. I'll have to double check. It feels like 2 years. All right. And the variety of spots, this looks like I don't know. I can talk about the detail and talk about how what makes each dot a little different. But I'm just throwing them in there. There's like 2 spots together. Like here, see, there's a dot and there's a dot. They're kind of like together. How they're constructed, how they're put together. There's another spot over here. Another one over here. And then I can see like these 3 spots would make like triangles. So that kind of helps trying to put some of them together and kind of create other designs and patterns. And here, this one kind of looks like a nose. So these 2 eyes. And that shape. And this other shape, there's like 2, again, another 2 spots together. Oh, look, I can cover up my arrow. Luckily, nobody's gonna even know there was an arrow there. Pushing that knee out. That knee. And the foot is this. Actually, this is the ankle. This is the ankle, and this is the foot of a dog. Actually, this whole thing right in here, because here's the knee. Here's that. Yeah, if you can studying the skeletal of animals, it'd be really interesting, depending on how deep you want to go into observing and seeing and drawing stuff. It's really up to you. And then you understand the structure and what's underneath. And then you draw anatomy, and then you get to people too. The patella, all the different parts. Oh, I think we're done. Awesome. All right, 7:05. Let's jump to the next one. I'll leave it up a little bit. I think it looks pretty good. Oh, there is a shadow, a little bit of a shadow. You don't want your dog to be floating, so I'm just really quickly throwing a scribbled shadow right up in here. Oh, helps sink him in. There's our doggy, our rough drawing. I'll still keep telling my jokes. All right, so we've got, all right, we're going to do a cowboy, and we're going to, because some people were asking for faces. So I don't know if we're going to get to do a face next hour, but we've got our cowboy. And yeah, the dog went to the cowboy. What did he tell him? I'm looking for the guy who shot my paw.
He's not a cowboy, he's the sheriff.
He's the sheriff. All right. He's not any cowboy. He's the sheriff. So the dog went to the sheriff and said, I'm looking for the guy who shot my paw. Yeah. Oh, that song. That was actually, I don't know, not one of my favorite songs. It's very repetitive. I shot the sheriff, but I didn't shoot the deputy. Well, if you shot the sheriff, why didn't you shoot the deputy? I don't know. The whole and I love music too, but it's all right. Here we go. Let's break this down. Oh, I wish we can. I don't know. I need to get a better camera. Yeah, it's one of the investments we'll do probably next year. Better camera, better setup here. All right, so here we go. I can see this square for the whole body, this whole square in here, and it's tapered a little bit, but it's pretty, we're looking at the ratio, same height, same width. It's probably a little bit wider, this shape here, and that really helps put everything else together. It's probably one of the biggest shapes I can see. I can see this oval shape of this whole body too, this whole, the way the arms kind of go around, this whole, like an egg shape, this whole egg shape. You want to, ooh, I'm drawing in my book. Don't do that. Let's bring out a pencil. If I do draw, I can erase. But you can see this oval shape. And you can see this shape. Don't worry about the detail. Don't worry about the detail. You want to see these shapes, right? If I wanted to actually here, I can see the height and the width of this big old shape, kind of get it in there and sketch it in right in there, because I know that's where my, and how it's going to fit on my paper. How it's going to fit on my paper. So here's that, the biggest shape I can see. There's a hand that's going to be right about in there. Another hand right about in there. And here there's like a square, that square, same height, same width. Right here, that's the a little bit of an angle, but it's got really close, same height, same width, the head. And then the head, it's like a square, but you can actually see almost like a circular oval that kind of hangs in there. It's almost like this drooping circle right in there. And how does it fit in with that the vest, that vest in there? Yeah, there we go. And then the hat kind of goes up on top, and then there's another little square for the hat, like right up on top, and that shape and space. There's a lot more detail and little, but these are the shapes that I see. This is the structure. A little bit of overlapping. The head is in front. Head is in front of all the shoulder stuff, and looks like ready to draw. Oh, he's ready to draw. Are you ready to draw? So here we go. Oh my gosh. It's a fun night tonight. Having fun. All right. Ooh, I think I'm going to move the hand up a little more. See, I can see here, and I can see the cuff in here, that cuff. And then the hand's probably going to, I can move it over. See how easy it is to move over without, I can start building the drawing. That hand will probably bring it up a little more in relation to that one. Bring it up a little more. And here, that whole cuff is just another shape right in there. That's where that cuff is. Try to see the big shapes, the big parts. Kind of almost abstract it. You almost have to abstract it. Unless you want to draw the, and I can do this pretty fast. I can do this pretty fast. I didn't see the value when I first, I would start when I first started drawing. Back when I was in 5th grade, I would just dart on one part and just draw it over. And sometimes it was just all out of proportion but we use wrap. We look at the ratios, the height, the width. We look at angles, pretty angles, slight angles there. We look at proportions, how big something is compared to something else. And placement. So wrap, R-A-P-P, placement. And then we use patience and practice and persistence. Here is the legs are going to kind of go in here. See, I can scribble that, and that's how big they're going to go in there. The guns are going to be right in here. I can see there's going to be one gun. It's kind of pointing out this way. The other gun on this side, it's going to be pointing out that way. Probably bring the leg over a little bit, and then the feet, I can actually throw the feet in here. And there's one foot, and here's another foot. And I can kind of just really quickly get an idea of where everything's going to be. So I'm happy with that. And let's jump in. Let's jump in with the face and get everything. So I kind of have everything kind of blocked out with a quick sketch. And then the more you practice, the faster you get at this. All right, so let's see, we're going to put this, start with the hat. The hat kind of comes down right here like this, that little loop. And there's overlapping underneath is that like half a circle there, the top of his head. So you got the top of his head. Is there was that tonight? I know there was going to be a lunar eclipse. I'm not sure. There we go. So there's that. So this is overlapping. We talked about space pods, the iPods. No.
The lunar eclipse was the morning of the 8th.
Morning of the 8th. Oh, so we missed it
Yeah.
2 days ago. I didn't. Yeah, I missed it. Some of you probably caught it. All right. So there's the top of this hat. This hat kind of like wraps around and then comes down, and the slight angle wraps around, comes out, slight angle. The 8th in the morning. No wonder. It's probably out. And then it curves down and then
It
back.
started at 1 o'clock. I woke up at about 3:40.
Wow.
So I saw the last part of it.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Speaking of Carl Sagan and space and all that stuff, really fascinates me. Really, really interesting. Man, like right now, can you believe we're traveling at thousands of miles an hour? I mean, wow. Just as far as spinning, we're going, I think, at about 17,000 miles an hour as we spin. And then we're traveling through space even faster as we, how long does it take the Earth to go around the sun? Anybody know? Yeah, it takes a year.
365 days.
That's it.
365 point something.
Yeah, it is in a quarter. It's like
Yeah.
yeah,
Every 4 years, it's a
Leap
leap
year.
year. It's kind
yeah,
of
yeah. So we have leap year.
turn around once a day.
Yes, I know. Yeah, all really fascinating. All right. So the hat, I'm already doing some shading, but really it's just this shape that's here, and I'm kind of shading it in. It's this shape here. It's like this little rounded shape there. And then I'm shading it in. Really not talk about shading too much. I did come across a really good video on shading. I'll talk about it. So there were some requests on how to shade and how to shade. Actually, I should put it in the chat. It was raining and cloudy. Couldn't see it at all. Oh, yeah, I couldn't see that. I know the weather. Yeah, you probably got the tail end. You're probably a little bit east from us. We're west California here. It rained, I think, the day before. Oh yeah, Monday, Tuesday. Actually, no, that's right. It did rain Tuesday. Oh, so yeah, I couldn't have seen it. It was behind. Speaking of behind, the clouds overlapping. This hat, it's interesting. It goes behind what we just drew, that part right there. And that's, you can see it's behind. So it's up a little bit. You can see right there. So it kind of goes behind. It's important to try to get that continuity where it kind of goes behind. So if it goes from here, that point to that other point, and then it just comes out and curves, and then it comes down to a point, and then it curves back. And there's the hat. Well, something like that. And there we go. There's a hat. All right. I'd probably get something that's a little flat, put underneath my drawing. There's a big pad. Oh, I've got these folders. One of these folders. Sketchbook Heroes. It's a call to adventure. Bum, ba, da, bum. All right, your call to adventure. Adventure awaits. Okay. So I don't know. I think I'm curving a little bit more, and I don't know. Let's see if I can get the feel of that hat. There it is. There's the hat. Now the face droops down. The face droops down. It's pretty cool. It kind of actually even pushes out slightly. It's almost like there we go. Something like a sack. There we go. So we're going to draw that as it comes around and around in here. And you can see it has the same height, same width. If I were to draw axis lines in there, it's good to see those axis lines. Even if you're not drawing them, you kind of should be able to see them. Let me turn my folder around. My stickers were getting in the way. There we go. I like this setup. I really like this setup. You guys get to see the drawings while we're drawing them. And eventually we will have that as I edit. All right, there you go. There's my axis lines. Kind of pushes out right at the bottom. There's the shape of the head. It's good to get that shape. Looks like an upside down light bulb. There we go. You can see that shape. And then right in the middle, that's where the mouth is, actually above the middle. That axis line right there of this circle in the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and do the eyes. Let's do the eyes. The eyes kind of like with that axis line kind of helps center the eyes as well. That's why it's good to draw that axis line if you're totally new, or if you want to be daring and draw it without it, that's fine. That's me. I would always kind of like with these steps, the drawings, I would always just look at that last drawing. I'm like, I always found that the steps so cumbersome, but now I know the value and the importance of the steps. These books never really explained it. While they draw how to draw 50 animals, how to draw 50 dinosaurs, those books never really explained it. But now I know. All right, so there, draw that, and then the pupils. Put the pupil inside. The pupil inside the classroom there. There we go. There's the pupil. And there's a little bit of a highlight. I'm losing just at my drawing. There's a little bit of a highlight. There's like a white, on this left eye, but not on the right eye. That's okay. I'm not going to put them in there. It's just too small. And then there's the nose. So there's the bridge of the nose. If you want to draw faces, I will have a whole web page dedicated to drawing faces and proportions. We've talked about it in the past, and I know there's a few people asking for it. But yeah, let's see. So you can see here's that axis line down here. The nose is up above that, right in there. And it's just a simple triangle, actually, yeah, upside down V, or like a V shape. And then the mouth. Hey, surprise, surprise. One of my friends, childhood friends. Funny story about him. Anyways, he's I was into magic and and puppets and all kinds of stuff as a kid. And I would make my own magic tricks. I would actually go through books and curiosity. Speaking of the drawing from 50, I was at that time in my life, middle school, elementary school, elementary school, somewhere around there, 6th grade, 7th grade. Anyways, he would call himself my cousin. We were cousins. It's just that our parents were really close, and we he got into magic too. But his parents, his mom specifically, would buy him the tricks. So I would make my own homemade tricks, and he would have his little tricks. Anyways, his name is Victor Castillo. He does magic at the Magic Castle, which we'll be going twice this week. Yeah. All right, I'm putting in the the stubble without even talking about it. Here we go, stubble here and there. It's kind of like the dots and the Dalmatians, kind of like just finding where they go. And really interesting shading around here. You can see there's reflected light, really starting actually to give that form instead of just a shape. It's really form, and getting that sphere in there. Up here, doing the stubble. Then there's stubble on the outside kind of sticking out. There's all this detail. Usually use the detail last, but the big shape first, the head, and then all this detail usually go last. But I'm doing it now as we're here. We can just move out and about. All right, let's get that vest in there. Let's get that vest. All right, it's kind of coming out this way. Curves out. A little bit of that curve, a little bit of that form. I'm in San Jose. It was raining and cloudy. Couldn't see it at all. Oh man, yeah. Yep. All right. Now this is interesting here. These are oval shapes or ellipses. There's ellipses in here. These ellipses, you'll see these ellipses. But we're only going to draw part of it. But there's ellipses where the arms kind of go through the vest. I'm drawing the ellipses so you can see what that shape or that structure that is there, and being able to see it, because this is, we only need this part of it. So as I loop around right in here, you can see it just loops around right there, that part. And then the arm kind of sticks out of that right in there, and then comes out kind of like that. Oh, and into the cuff. See that cuff? That's going to go there, right onto that cuff. And then also tapers too. So there's a slight taper. It's a wider here. I'm looking at the shape. I'm not just drawing lines. I'm drawing shapes. I see the shape as it gets wider as it comes up right in there. You want to get that. You don't want noodle arms or spaghetti arms. It might be a spaghetti Western. But gosh, I'm making all kinds of connections tonight. Yes, it's the way the brain works, connecting, making connections. All right, there's that one arm. All right, here we go. And then the vest, back to the vest, curves out right in that spot. Bam. And then it curves in at that angle, right in there, at that shape. And again, you can see that reflected light really makes it, really gives it form. If you were to shade this in, I mean, this is more advanced, but I'm shading it in real quick. I hated when you would see this drawing here, and then all of a sudden you see this drawing. Where are the steps in between? How do you get from here to here? I was like, oh, so that's why I would even forget that. I'm just going to focus on this. But yeah, the steps. What are the steps? What's the process? You know, this is, I think probably, I don't know, is it digital? Probably digital. It's all good. It's all for fun. Hey, we forgot the ears. Let's add the ears in there. Add the ears. There's an ear in here. There's one ear, the inside of the ear. It's like a bean shape. There's one ear, and out the other, another one ear, and the other one on the right side, right about in there. Area. Just shade it in a little bit, shade it back. Yeah, the shading's really nice. Get that going. All right. I think we'll skip that side, right side of the vest for now. I'm going to go to the left and then finish up this cuff. On cuff, there's a couple of little lines that are there, but I'm just going to draw it as one line. And then this fold, and how it's a coil fold. It's kind of like a coil fold. Studying textiles and studying how clothes wrinkle and fold. And this is like a coil. And here really we're having, as far as form is cylinders. We have a lot of little cylinders in here. These are cylinders. So what's happening, same thing as in here. You can see that oval shape. If you were to see that oval shape inside, let's see that cylinder that's actually happening right in here. It's like a cylinder. It's a form. Cylinder is just like this tape, right? You see a circle, and as it changes through space, you get this cylinder here, this cylinder. Now that's what's happening here. There's a cylinder, and it's kind of slightly at an angle. See that tape? That's kind of like there, that there. And you would see that top of the tape is inside of that cuff, right? So these two lines are parallel. And then this bottom is curved, just like that, this tape. Oh, great example. We're on it, we're on it. If you're not learning today, wow, you got to stick with it, stick with it. I can try to simplify. So here, my arm, my hand, I can see it. I'm going to have to probably bring it down a little bit, or probably fit it right in there. I'm looking back and forth and seeing how this next shape is going to fit in there, getting ready to draw. And there's that wrist right in there. There's the thumb coming back. Then in here is that finger. I'm kind of now seeing the parts of it. Then the thumb kind of coming back right in there. And it's really interesting how it curves. So it goes up, that palm, and then it comes down, and then it goes up and around the thumb. Yeah, see, like all this stuff right here, all this is here it's kind of complex, because you have the palm, and then you have the thumb, and there's like different parts, and it tapers. So I don't know. This is a little more, definitely more intermediate, a little harder than the dog, that's for sure. We're going in a good order. I think the grasshopper is probably as tough as this one. So, so just hang in there. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, it's okay. Don't die. It's okay. People, you know, that's the thing with drawing is the drawing is evident. It's really evident. You can see, you know, like, oh, wow, it's not exact, and that's okay. What's important is the process. How did I do this? And then you just practice the how, and then you'll finally get it. You know, it's like, oh, okay. I was looking at a video about practicing typing. And you can see, you know, you want to improve your typing, you practice it. And there was websites they were talking about and the power of practice and just doing it over and over till you get it. And how you practice is important. They were actually mentioning that. It was like a 15-minute video. I saw that one today. All right, so you can see the parts, almost like two fingers here, that index finger, the thumb, and then the middle finger is like sticking back in there. So I'm just doing that part first. And then the middle finger back here is kind of two parts. There's like two ovals. If you really look closely, there's two ovals. Like two ovals that are overlapping, like the number 8. Something like the number 8 in there. So I'm going to go, and they do taper a little bit as they go out. Like right in there, like that. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's that finger there. Ready to draw. All right. I'm gonna skip, I think. I'm gonna skip. Because I know the gun is gonna be there. That shape is gonna be there. I want to make sure there we go. The waist is gonna be right there. The belt is gonna be right about there, about that thick. That thickness and belt right here. Pelvis. And then his feet kind of taper in right in there. There we go. They taper in that space. Really tiny feet. Really tiny feet. On one side. I'm going to go over here on the other side. Right about there. Let's see, I had my foot there, but I want to line up. So I like that foot. I'm going to bring this foot down without, you know, and I know it's going to go right about there without putting a lot of effort. Blocking everything in, kind of getting that structure in there. Here's that. There's the gun is going to be right about here. See, I'm just drawing an oval, looking back and forth as I do it. The tip of the gun, and then the hand. I'm going to move it out a little bit more. Move it out. See, I had it there. I know it's going to go more over here. Bring this whole arm out a little bit more too. I can bring this whole arm. Let's see, scoot it over. All right, did anyone of the Los Angeles locals go to the brewery art walk this past weekend? No, I was this close to going. Almost went. I went the last time they had it. Funny thing too, I saw before he passed away.
It's twice a year.
Yeah,
So
it
there's
is.
a spring one coming up.
Yeah. I was there at the last in spring. Yeah, it's March and October, I guess, is it, or April?
Yeah, thereabouts.
Yeah, I did.
10 years.
Yeah. I did
It's good to
the
go back.
Pasadena Art Walk was recently too.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
I'll pay more attention next time.
Yeah, you know, we need a community calendar and put that all together. Well, it's just another thing to do. Yeah. All right. So yeah, he is not just a cowboy. He is the sheriff. So he's got a star right in here, and it's a circle right in there. See that circle? And I know it's going to go right in there, that circle shape. Right in there. Yeah, really, I wonder if it was on, I looked it up too. That was a great example, taking notes, awesome. Yeah, and here's that oval. Here's this form, and he's kind of like a bell shaped. And try to get that bell form when you draw this line. Back in here, taking notes, it's awesome. There we go. Get that vest in. That vest, I'm just going to curve that. Talked about it on the left side. Here, doing it on the right side. And then it is dark, like this part right here is dark as the arm goes in. Same thing on this right side where the arm goes out. It's all about perspective. How do you see it? Is it going in or is it going out? Well, the arm goes through. And again, it tapers. So here, this is the widest part. And as it comes out this way, it gets thinner. So even though there's a little bit of a band up here, probably the deltoid, biceps, but it's all curved. These arms are curved. Where's the elbow? Nowhere. It's a cartoon. It's a caricature. And here's the cuff. The cuff is going to go right in there. Then there's lines and buttons and all this little detail. All right, how are we doing on time? 7:32. Doing good on time. We'll be drawing the grasshopper next, and then the rose, the 8 o'clock hour. We should get to the 8 o'clock hour or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Should be on the rose. We're going to be drawing a rose. A rose. And then other drawings that are on Meetup, on our Meetup website. So this cuff just kind of comes out like a diamond shape. And then here, oh, we do have that other, this one tapers a little bit more. So it's not as parallel. This one goes in like a cuff, but it's kind of almost like getting the cylinder and cutting into it, cutting into it as it gets wider out here, but it's still, this bottom part is that curve, that same curve as it comes up and around right in there. For some reason it looks bigger. Maybe I need to make it a little smaller. I'm looking at it back and forth. All right. Cause I'm a cowboy on a steel horse I ride. I'm a wanted. Dead on the line. All right, so this star has little circles at the tips. So there's one little circle there, two little circles on the bottom, and then two other circles on the side. There it is. Yeah, the art walk. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. There's a website. I don't know. I haven't gone to it in a long time. Art Scene. I did go to the what's that art show? That one was really good this year. It was the there was some actor that was there hanging around at the where the train station is, the Bergamot station. Bergamot station. Yeah, they have a lot of galleries right in there. What I haven't done in a while, and they've done it every month. I don't know what it's like lately, but the art walk in downtown LA has one. There's other cities that have them too. The art walk downtown in LA. That's a good one. All right, there's my star, and then there's a little ring that's on the outside. Two circles, inner circle, and then the outer circle. I should probably use my micron pen. We're like doing surgery here, so you can see it better. There it is. Yeah, this micron pen is like amazing, so accurate, so precise. There we go. Precision. Uh-oh. It's running out of ink. I hope not. And yeah, the inner circle, and then the outer circle. Now, purpose, we've talked about purpose, why you drawing for fun, trying to observe, drawing. There's a lot of reasons. Why do I do classes for free? Well, that's a whole other reason. I'm trying to get people to learn to see, help each other, create a community. And my whole reason is it's coming. I think next year will be good for that. Really work on building this community and people who are like-minded, people who want to do things for a purpose, a reason, starting with why. All right, shading. I'm just shading. I'm not really talking about shading. A lot of back and forth shading. There's a lot of shading going on. The shady character. Oh, so I'm really punny today. There we go. And notice reflected light as well. There we go. All right, there's the vest. The vest is done. The vest. All right, so there's a little bit of a bulge happening here with the body right here, a little bit of a belly as it comes down around in here and up behind the vest. And this is really slight. It's kind of evident right in here with this the shirt as it comes up. There's a little bit of an angle and then it goes up right in there. And probably folds. I think there's some folds in here. I'll put little folds. I think that's it. And a little bit of shade, a little bit of shadow. So it looks like the belly of the beast. And then, yeah, I'm going to shade the whole thing. It is red and yellow. There's little bright yellow stripes. I'm going to put the stripes in. I might put the stripes in at the end. I'm just shading the whole shirt in a little bit. Get rid of my ovals that I had in there for the arms. Oh, the arm, the hand. Let's get that other hand. That's important. Before the guns and everything, get that hand in there. Now I can see this. I can see this like a triangle shape. This whole hand is kind of like this triangle shape. It's this triangle shape, and then the thumb kind of sticking out right in there, kind of like this. Looks like a claw, but you should be able to see this big, almost abstract kind of like shape, and see that, and then see the other parts. Because now I can actually break that into its parts. You have the wrist, a little wrist coming in, then the palm coming up and then down, and then sticking out, and the parts of the thumb. I mean, you have to draw hands. You have to study hands. They're really complex. I'm just simplifying them here a little bit. It kind of looks like a chili, actually. It looks like a jalapeno. So it's got a little bit of a curve in it. It does taper, does come back up. It is complex, not easy. It's a complex shape. It's like a tapering. It's got a triangle and curves, and there's that. There's the thumb, similar to the one on the left. And then this pointer finger, index finger, kind of two parts too. You can see that one part, and then a little slight curve to get that other part, that finger. A little bit of an overlap there. Then you've got this going back and up like that. I think I made it a little wider than it needs to be. Let me push it in, push this back. Yeah, that's better. Just slightly. And that's all you see, really. It's kind of like that claw. The other finger's not there. All right. We're looking good, looking good. For those who can work in watercolor, can you recommend a brand of pan watercolor that has rich color? Ooh, wow. Can I recommend a rich color? You know, I've been working with school watercolors. You almost have to look at them and see the most intense ones. I mean, I don't, you know, Winsor Newton has good water, is a good brand. Winsor Newton, I know. Let me see, what else? I really just recommend anything when you're first starting off, because really, you know, as you learn, and watercolors will last you a long time if you use them right. So yeah, rich watercolors. And Winsor Newton, I don't know. Once you're there at the store, that's the best bet. You know, just go there to the art store, maybe even ask somebody there. You know, and there's probably several factors I kind of look at. But yeah, there's pens are good. Yeah, I use watercolors, but I'm not a big aficionado. I'm really good at them. All right. So speaking of, the belt is another ellipse here. The belt actually comes out like this, kind of comes down here, and there's overlapping. So I'm going to do that because it's behind here. You got to see the form. I'm going to do it lightly. So I'm going to do it lightly in here. The belt that kind of comes in here, the belt that's behind here. What's going on is happening is that the gun is in front of this belt, the overlapping. But that's why it's important to understand form and see that there. See, so that belt's there. The form is that ellipse, or actually cylinder. And then we have the gun that's in front of it, the guns. So now I'm going to go ahead and draw the guns in front of it. The belt I just kind of sketched in lightly. And here we go. Let's put the guns in. We're going to do left to right. Here's the handle. The handle. Fly off that handle. It's just, oh, there it is. Then you've got the inside of the gun, which is a couple parts. It's a little complex. I'm just going to draw it. And it's got the little hammer in the back. And then it comes in the holster. An idea I had is actually to bring back holsters, but the holsters that kind of come up in here. And you can put your phone on one side and your wallet in the other. Make a nice leather holster with the back, you know, like not suspenders, but you know, it has a really nice look to it. I think it would be a great thing. I haven't never seen anything like that. I'm like, oh, that would be a great idea. Put it on Shark Tank or something. You know, but and you can actually dress nice, and you don't have the bulge of a phone or wallet in your pocket. There we go. I'm putting quick cross hatching without describing it for the gun. Then the barrel sticking out a little bit right in there. That's a little complex. There's a lot of stuff happening in there. Hopefully you get it. But it's behind. See, here's the belt. It's behind and there's the belt behind as it comes over, darkening it up. And then get that other gun on this side. I'm going to bring it down from where my sketch is. Probably bring it down slightly. Make those micro adjustments. Plastic surgery. There we go. The handle sticking out like a circle shape back here, probably about that big. And then overlapping, this goes in front. Cross hatching on top of it. I'm going to put the that part, the holster.
Hilario,
Yes,
my gun looks like a hot glue gun.
like a hot glue gun. Yeah. Oh yeah, mine too. Actually, yeah, I can see that. It's just this holster. Yeah, it's
It
not.
doesn't have a lot of detail. It's
No,
hard
it
to.
doesn't. It doesn't. It
Mhm.
doesn't. Yeah. I mean, and there's all these little parts which I actually didn't even draw. I didn't draw that part, and it's all right. I don't know. The hammer, little part right there. Yeah, I don't know. Trying to fix it, straighten out, and then the little barrel, not the barrel, but there. What is it called? I don't know. All these parts have names. Yeah. And then here's the holster and the way that that barrel part sticks out. And this is a cylinder too. I mean, understanding form, there's a little bit of a curve at the end. They're really slight. I mean, it's really the next level. And that's why you need to draw and practice drawing the forms and seeing the forms and not just shape. Not just shapes. It's next level. All right, there's the guns. Best I can do. We're gonna do the bullets. We're almost done with this. And jump onto the grasshopper. Hop on over to the grasshopper real quick. I think the grasshopper will go a little faster. I think we'll go a little faster with the grasshopper. All right, I'm just gonna put oval shapes for the bullets. Look at, there's two oval shapes. There's the oval shape of the bullet, and then on top there's like another little like circle that's up on top. And that's actually probably the easiest way to describe it. Like an oval shape and then a circle shape on top. Oval shape, circle shape on top. Oval shape, circle shape on top. Try to get it to go around. Curve that belt. All right, looks good. There is a crease or a fold.
There is
What's that? M. Graham Watercolors. It is a company in the Pacific Northwest. Oh, interesting. Personal, I like koi. Oh yeah, personal koi. But I started with the Cotman. The price was right for good quality. Yeah. Yeah, good, good. Yeah, once you get into that world, I mean, drawing is just the, what do they call it? The they used to call marijuana the gateway. That's what it is. So drawing is the gateway to other art. It's the gateway drug. I'm hooked on drawing. I can't stop. I need my weekly fix. All right. At least I am
You
using.
joke, but seriously. All right. So here's the same thing with the cuffs on the bottom. I really just more ellipses, but they're really small and just attached right in there. Yeah, to joke. I mean, it can be. And it's so important to not focus on it's really about the journey, and it's really about drawing. And sometimes you hit that destination the way you want it to, and sometimes you don't, and that's okay. What's more important is that journey. It is the process. It is the steps. It's the how. The what will eventually come. And as you understand and start seeing form is like, well, once you see form, it's so mind opening. It's like, and it's seeing like, I don't know, when I see students get it, it's like, oh my gosh, and it does take a while. It's almost like an epiphany. It's like, oh my gosh, I see the form. I know karate. I know kung fu. It's like the Matrix. You know, look around you, look at the shapes, look at shapes first, see shapes everywhere, and then see form everywhere, and how the form is made up of shapes. And you have your ellipse, your circle, and this is just a cylinder. Then you've got it's an empty, my mug here, and you can see how it changes as it moves. All right. Oh, we're done before we even knew it. A little bit of a shadow, and it's got like an ellipse shadow in there. There's an ellipse. It's that important shape that helps with form. It's that ellipse you'll see everywhere. All right. Really quick shade. And there's the sheriff. There's a new sheriff in town. There he is. All right, let's get to that grasshopper. I'll leave that sheriff there for a little bit. Let me jump to the grasshopper. Let me hop on over. There's
I
our
think he might be a marshal.
a marshal. Ah, yeah.
Marshals have the circle around their badges. Well, sheriffs tend just to have the star in westerns.
Yeah, I think so. No, I don't. Oh, we did. I cut out some of the detail as far as like the lines. I'll throw in some lines. Oh, look at that praying mantis. Actually, there was a praying mantis at my mom's house last week. It's saying its prayers. There we go. Yeah, these lines and stuff, all this is just detail. It's all the icing on the cake. They go parallel with the, or kind of like parallel, the arms. And oh, this is really good. What's going on here is actually, you can see the way it rounds out and really get a nice cross contour shapes with these lines. And they are light lines. I mean, they're yellow, and I'm doing them dark. So I'm kind of going backwards. If I were to shade it, it's kind of like backwards. And here it's starting to curve the other way, curve this way. See, and the curving this way. And another line there, another line there, line. Do it on this side. Actually, this whole body. Cross contours. The matrix. Yeah, we live in incredible times. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing, oh my gosh. AI is getting wild. AI is doing animation now. AI actually, there's big talk as far as it taking over jobs and stuff like that, creativity. They thought it'd never happen. It's getting there, but you still need somebody to run it and understand it. Somebody with a creative mind, and I mean, drawing helps.
that creativity. I didn't do the buttons. I just drew them in right now, which are also ovals or ellipses. Let me get the rest of my lines in here. If you get the lines in, great. If you don't, it's all just detail. It's all just, you can spend a long time on just detail. Oh my gosh. It's fun. It's relaxing, actually. It's just time consuming. You can get lost in it. You know, the icing on the cake, the shading, all that stuff. That's why I don't like spending a lot of time on it, because it just takes so long, and some people, oh, it's going to be boring. Put you to sleep. All right, these lines are going in this direction. They're curving this direction, they're curving up. And then here it starts curving the other way as it comes down here. Noticing the way things curve, really important. There it is. There's my stripes. All right, let's jump on. Let's hop on over. Let's hop on over to Hopper. This is really, this one, yeah, this one's going to go a little faster. I think so. I'll draw it faster. So, so if you can keep up, great. If you can't, sorry. We are moving up. We are moving up as far as, you know, skill level. So we do start off slow, and we do pick it up. So here we go.
Could I share something, Eladio?
Sure.
This, let's put some of the right buttons. Hold on.
All right. I see. Let me replace my spotlight. What you got?
Pearl, these are the paints I have.
Oh,
Okay, those were the paints I had.
Okay, nice. Thank you.
52 picket.
Thanks.
Wow. Yeah.
These are pretty nice. They're not as good as the M grams, but they come in and they're
Which
not too
company is that?
expensive either.
Is that the Kurataki?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
my set is 18.
Okay,
Thank you, Eladio.
Thank
What is brand it is?
What brand is it?
What the brand?
Well,
It's in the chat.
I'm not entirely sure. It says Gansai Tombi, and then it says that
Kuritaki's.
whatever. Oh,
Sounds Japanese.
Kurataki, I think, is the brand.
Yeah. Gansai Tombi. Yeah, it sounds Japanese. Yeah, there it is. Japanese paint for gouache water and watercolor. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to draw this grasshopper really quickly. So a good thing it's here. So you can go at your own pace. And if you don't get it, it will be up tomorrow on our website. It'll be up on our website. It'll be up on YouTube if you haven't done that yet. Okay, that's why I wanted to actually, it'd be interesting. Absolutebeginner.org would probably be a good one to use. I have a bunch of websites you can link it to, and then you can become a member. Anyways, next week we'll do that, because I had the idea and I forgot. I go, yeah, I wanted to do that. So probably I'll use Absolute Beginner. Absolutebeginner.org. And hopefully that'll be working tomorrow. I'm gonna use that. So if you go to absolutebeginner.org, should take you to our YouTube channel. That's what I'm gonna do tomorrow morning, and then I'll put this video up. So if I'm going too fast, you can go and go to absolutebeginner.org, sign up for our YouTube channel, and every time I put up a new video, you can go there. All right, so I'm gonna do this really quick. I can see the head. The head is almost like a circle. It has the same height, same width, and I know there's a little bit of a pull in on it, but I'm seeing that's ratio. And then I'm here. I can see my angle, and I can see the body kind of coming back in there, kind of like that. And here, and I can see that body, and proportion wise, I can see how big the head is compared to the body. I can really quickly go. Here's 1, 2, and 3. So that the body is 2. There's like 2 heads in there, so it's all together it's like 3. That's it. And I can see that's going to be my proportions. I have one leg coming up here, another leg coming down here. You're going to see it's going to be a lot faster. I can see these 2 legs right in here coming in right in there. Yeah, this is going to be a lot faster. So try to keep up, and like the tomatoes that were walking down the street, the family of tomatoes walking down the street. And there was Mama Potato, Tomato, Mama Tomato, Papa Tomato, Baby Tomato. And the baby tomato just kept falling behind until a Papa Tomato stomped on the baby tomato and said, ketchup. Oh, violence. All right. All right, so here we go. Speaking of ketchup.
Turn our today.
Horror movie. Horror movie.
Oh, God. All right. So I've got the antenna kind of going out right in there, kind of like moving out. Here's one eye is going to be right in there. I'm going to start breaking it down, everything down to the one eye is going to go right in there. And that head kind of comes down, curves, the mouth kind of curves around in here. I'm blocking it all in real quick, kind of seeing where it all kind of goes, how it all fits. One foot's going to be here. The foot is going to be here. Another foot right in here, a little bit longer. And then this other shoe, really a lot bigger, right in there. And you can see how quickly you can do stuff. And then see if you're happy with it. Begin with the end in mind, see how it's going to look. I can see it, I can imagine it, see it, do it, be it, breathe it. And that other leg back here is going to be back in here, like a triangle shape back in there. All right. And it's a grasshopper, but if you don't draw it straight, it'll be a cricket.
What?
It won't be straight. It'll be a little cricket, a little cricket, a little cricket, cricket. All right, here we go. I'm going to draw this really quick. I'm just going to bang it out. All right, so here we go. Here's one antenna. Here's another antenna. There we go. I'm on top of it today. My gosh, you hear about the antennas that had got married? Yeah, well, the two antennas got married, and the wedding was terrible, but the reception was fantastic. All right. Okay, here goes the mouth. Up and around. Bam. The mouth right there. Bam. You can see the other eyeball back here. Not quite where it's supposed to be. I think the antenna should have been a little bit more forward. This is a rounded triangle. This eyeball here. It curves right there. Pupil underneath. A little bit of a highlight. I'm going to try to keep it. This eyeball underneath, overlapping. We talked about overlapping tonight. iPods, space pods. Space pods, space pigs. Didn't they Muppets have like space something?
Pigs in space.
Pigs in space. That's right. Pigs in space. Traveling by space pods. All right, the mouth goes up and around that shape that's there. Kind of tightens up a little too much, but that's fine. I actually put it a little bit open. And then here we go. And there's overlapping. We're going to put this leg behind. A lot of stuff happening, but it kind of cups up and over and into the shoe. Then it goes inside. This is that outside part. And then this inside part tapers and comes down into the shoe. There's the front of the shoe that goes in front. Then we've got the shoelaces, 3 shoelaces. I'm just going to do ovals, 1, 2, 3. And then we've got the inside. And there. If you're joining us for our first hour, thank you. If it's getting too hard, that's all right. It's good. It's good. Got to know where you're at. Got to know where you're at, and got to know where your challenges are. Take on challenges. If it's easy all the time, it's like eating baby food. You got to get to the solids. You got to level up. But if baby food is fine, you know, you gotta know where you're at. Got to have those training wheels. And then once you get used to those training wheels, you're like, okay, I'm ready for the next level. I'm ready for the next step. I'm done seeing shapes. I want to see form, and you see it coming. That's what's next. Form, and then Rare. And actually even working three-dimensionally, we can get some clay. That would be good. I would really strongly suggest getting some clay, like here we go, have some clay. And then, you know, playing with it, try to actually make some forms and draw them and move them around, draw, you know. And you can get clay at a dollar store, Dollar General. I'm sure some of these dollar stores, Dollar Tree, they have clay, and you just need a little bit and just play with it and understand three-dimensionality, space and time, the space-time continuum. Back to Carl Sagan. Space and time are together as one. Interesting. And wow, with technology, we're actually together through space and time. Fascinating. All right, here goes this other leg behind. There's a lot of overlapping stuff happening. This other leg coming down between here, see, right in there. We don't have time to describe everything. I'm just gonna put it in. Put it in. Right in there. Tapers the thickness of that shape right there. Next shoe, a little bit of overlapping, which I'm kind of missing, pulling it back. This actually shoes at a different angle than this one.
And different size.
Yeah, different size. It looks like this one's coming out this way, and then this one's coming out a little more to the side. And yeah. Right, 1, 2, 3. Definitely this shoe's bigger. Right in here. Right in there. All right. So we'll move this over in case we're out of space. There we go. Ooh, and it's got the little wings back here. They're going to be back here behind these legs. Got to make sure that the wings are there. There we go. The shape of this leg. It's almost like two parts. You've got this one part here, and then this other part for this back leg. This big jumping leg grasshopper. This was one of the drawings that I would, not this specifically, but grasshopper is a drawing I would do when I was teaching the elementary school. Really broke it down into like this shape, an oval shape, and a square, and this like rectangle, not rectangle, well, square, and then this like knife shape, right? And I would do this again, like a quick look at that quick grasshopper. I still remember, and then the way the legs would kind of like go up in there. That was really quick. All right, and this one's a lot more cartoony. This one's a little more realistic, even though it was done quicker. Faster than a speeding bullet.
Mario,
Yes.
when you choose to draw something, for instance, this one, I noticed you draw their antenna first. Why is not from head first?
I don't know. I usually draw the head for. I mean, I had it blocked in, and then I just added the antenna. I just did it. I don't know.
Any rule of thumb you're supposed to
Yeah.
where to start?
Yeah, I try to draw big shapes first. Try to see my big shapes, and then you want to generally do that. Get the big shapes first, and then go to detail. Detail goes last. That's generally the way you want to start. But once you kind of understand it and kind of do it, it doesn't matter as much. But 90% of the time, you want to do big shapes to small shapes. And that'll get your proportions better. That'll get your, everything fit better. Instead of going from detail, you can get lost in the detail. It's like being in a forest, right? If you're lost in the forest, you want to go up high and look and see the big. You don't want to look at the leaves because you'll get lost. You'll get lost in the forest, right? And it'll take you forever to get out. But if you see the big, you can see clumps of trees instead of just one tree. The bigger the better, the higher you are. Then you can see your way out. You can see where you are. You can navigate. So yeah, that's why it's important to draw big. But I'm just doing it really quick. So I was there, and I'm not following that. But generally, 90% of the time, that's the way you want to go. And I'm just here trying to draw this really fast, just to move on. Yeah. Here we go. So I'm just doing this, just doing it for fun. But yes, great question. Yeah, you do want to, that's the process. That's how you know, and it's like baking a cake, there's first things you got to do certain things first, second, third, and then the oven, right? And you don't want to do the oven first, but in general, but some things sometimes it don't matter. If you put the salt first or the sugar first,
You turn the oven on first so it preheats while you're mixing.
That's right. It's all steps, right? All steps, even dancing. It's all knowing the steps, the process. Right. And that's
So
it.
when was the last time you made a cake, Eladio?
I made pancakes. I made pancakes this weekend. My son came over and made pancakes. All right. So there's designs here on these feet, and just putting the feet 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5 right in there. See? And then there's all kinds of designs. I can really quickly just sketch it in, not describe it, get people lost. And that's okay. This is just doing it for fast, doing it for fun. Shading that these legs pop because these background is shaded a little bit darker and these legs pop out.
Claudio, not to be so picky, but the left, I don't know if it's right or left. There's one leg in front with the big sneaker, with the bigger sneaker.
Yeah.
So where's the other one? There should be one other one.
Oh, there should be one behind here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there should be. No, you're right. Yeah, well, but then it does get really, they're trying to sometimes, you want to take your artistic license and clarify things, be clear. I mean, just imagine all these legs coming down. It's a lot. So sometimes you do want to clarify, you do want to simplify, you want to take that artistic license and really know why you're drawing. You want to communicate. And sometimes doing that, I'm sure other people that aren't as observant are just looking and they just look and see, and they don't, and that's the thing. But yeah, as an
There
artist,
is a hint of a little front leg that's on the other side. There's the hint of that.
yeah, there is. Like right in there. Right there. We can put them in. And who knows, maybe you can actually even put them behind there and they're really, shaded out like they're far away. Like in there, say I just put it in as like a shadow or lost in there. Another shoe in here, probably lost. Shading. You gotta get everything lost in kind of like our drawing last week. Gobble gobble. All this in this week's drawing. Where's our other drawing? That was a tough one. That was a really tough one. Those of you stuck it out. That was awesome. This one was tough. There's a lot of shadows, a lot of things that weren't really clear. I mean, it's all right though. I didn't get to see anybody's finished. We called it a night. All right, 8:09. Let's call this drawing. We're done with all our beginner drawings. Now, there's shading and stuff. I can actually get that shading, and you can see really interesting lights and darks and highlights. I'll actually put that video. I'll actually play a little bit of it right now after let's see if I remember. If anybody wants to share, you can share your drawings right now. We'll share, and then we'll get into shading a little bit. I will share some stuff out with shading that I actually came across. Really good stuff. Marco Bucco was one of my favorite artists. One of my artists that I like and mentor. I guess I follow him. He's got a really good video channel with stuff on it. On occlusion and shading and lighting and shadows. I'll share my webpage has some of the links on there. All right, that's it. Let's see if we see any hands. If anybody wants to share, you don't have to share. It helps me help you. I might have missed something, or I know I can't see one hand. Oh, there we go. All right, Yelena, let's see what you got. Let's see.
Doggy.
Oh, there's your Dalmatian. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the background. That's how a German Shepherd looks like. Sweet.
It is and my sheriff.
With the horse and the ground perspective.
Yeah, it looks like I tried to show some shadow,
Yeah.
something
Shadow nose.
shadow from someone.
Yeah.
That horse is so cute.
Yes.
It's a really great horse.
And it's not done yet. Oh,
And
you're right. Yeah.
nice. Sweet.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Love the cobblestones, Ina says.
Yeah, thank you.
Mhm. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? Ah, here we go, Peggy. Let's see what you got. Up the bottom. A little higher. There we go. Oh, there you go. Nice, nice. Capturing the form, the ratios. Coming along, coming along.
My grasshopper.
Ah, grasshopper. Take this pebble from my hand.
Here's my grasshopper.
There's the grasshopper. There's Hopper. Oh, that looks good. There you go. Oh, I like the little hairs. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Detail. He's got attitude. Good job. All right. Thank you for sharing.
I got mine. Let me-
All right. Oh, Maria, hold on, Maria. Let me get you. All right. I see. Oh, look at that. He looks like a real tough guy. All right. All right. Super duper. Thank you, Maria, for sharing. Yeah, anything? All right. Oh, you got your grasshopper. Sweet. Look at that one. He's got attitude too. All right. All right. All right. Anybody else? Okay, and then let's get to, let me show you some shading stuff. And oh, Jessica. There's Jessie. Hello. All right. There we go.
Okay, you're a little late, but I got the.
Oh, I think I lost you. Hold on. Something happened. I see you. I don't know if you're spotlight anymore. Hold on.
I think you're sharing screen. Maybe that's why. Could it be?
Oh, what? Oh, am I sharing my screen? No.
Oh
Am I?
no, maybe you're spotlighted.
Oh, I have some pinned videos. There we go. There you go. Now you're spotlit. Ooh, look at the color. Oh my God, it doesn't. Love
Okay,
it.
my grasshopper. I ran out of time and I started just doodling.
Oh, you got a little racetrack. That's awesome. Long jump competitions. That's cool. That looks real. That's awesome. The way you shaded the background, the legs really pop.
Oh, cool! I ran out of time and I just took out the black and I'm like, oh no, I overdid.
Yeah.
What
Thank
did you
you.
use? What did you use?
I was using a combination of Copic and watercolor tombows. I don't know if you're supposed to even mix them, but I mixed them. And then this thing, I was just like,
Nice,
so these
nice.
tombows and the Copics and other random
Random. Yeah.
anything that I could pull.
Yeah. It's all good. Thank you for sharing. Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so let me share my screen. There we go. All right. Okay, so art value shading, there it is. So there's a really good shade. Okay, I'll share this one. I mean, you can see all this is a website that I use to store all the videos and stuff that I come across. This 5 value system is really good. Here's the ambient and occlusion. I just added this one today for light for painters. This is really good. But all this stuff, shading mistakes, all this stuff is on shading and drawing better shadows. I mean, this is all just research that I've done over the years, and really good videos. But this one is a really good one. Marco Bucco. That one, this is it. Here it
Real
is.
life has
There it is.
different objects in it. There's going to be like a wall.
Really
here, or
talks
maybe
about
it's a
the
building,
shading and all that
maybe
stuff.
there's a
Ambient
tree over
occlusion.
here and people walking around.
And he talks. He's really good. I love his work. I mean, we actually one of our classes we drew that cartoon once, and he's got a bunch of other videos on painting and really awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Marco Bucco. So I'll go ahead and I don't know what you want, but I will I will put this link here, my Brain Tools, PV Works, copy that, the shading page, art value shading, and all this stuff on shading and values and all kinds of stuff, how to cross hatch for comics, top cross, yeah, all that stuff. So I'll put that in the chat.
Let's see, where's the chat? All right. Paste. For those of you, somebody was interested in shading. Somebody else was interested in faces. I don't know. We drew a face today, and we're going to draw a flower. Let's go to actually our drawings so that you can see actually this would be a good one to draw after the flower. We'll probably draw that after the flower. Let's see. Let's go to our meetup page. Oh, I thought I had it. Is it here? Oh, here it is. Oh, close that. Here we go. This is the page I wanted. All right, so we only had 4 pictures submitted, but I had people, thanks for posting. We have the tugboat, there's Pippi, we might get to Pippi. Oh, and that has a face. Somebody else wanted, well, I guess botany, which is going to do our flower, and landscapes. I don't know if we'll get to landscapes. And there's some other photos. The sharpener, here's the sharpener. And what else is here? Pippi and the sharpener. Definitely the sharpener. The sharpener was a good one. So we'll do the flower, the sharpener, and then Pippi, or let's see what else we have here. And maybe some people were asking for architecture and stuff. This would probably this one's a sketch. So we can talk about this a little bit as far as point of view. You can see that the eye level, and here looking up at it. That's interesting. We'll see if we can get to that. So let's start with the rose. Let's do the rose. We'll do the rose, and then we'll do the we will do the sharpener. Sharpener is probably gonna be quicker. This rose is gonna take a while. Let me try to zoom in and make it. They changed the format on this. I really wish. Let me see if I can zoom in and zoom out. There it is. That's probably as close as I can get. All right, let's draw on this. Let's break this down. Okay, so obviously you can see that it's a circle. You should be able to see that this is really an implied circle. The whole shape of the rose. So let me get my circle shape and whack it in here. There we go. There's that circle. And then we use that circle to see the proportions and how it relates to the other parts. So we got that. Here it is. You can see that circle right in there. I'll break that down a little bit further, but I'm going to take that circle and I'm going to move it. So you can see how it fits there, that circle. That's one. And I can see over here, see that that's smaller than the circle in that space there. And then you have this come down here. That same over here, you can see that space right in there too. That's smaller than our circle here. So you have this 1, 2, and then kind of like 3, but that is smaller than this. Now let's break this down into smaller pieces still. We have another circle inside that in here. This is more like an oval shape. You can see that oval shape right in there. Look at that oval shape. And then you could see another like shape right in there, like right in there like that shape. And then another shape right in here, like a circle shape right in there. You can see how it breaks down into those shapes, and then the petals and all that stuff. But that's basically it. This, especially this part right here. This is this bud. This bud is the one that you really want to see. Let me change the color. Let's change the color. I see it's all working really nicely today. I had too many tabs open at one time. Red is too close to the orange. Let's grab another color. Purple, blue. Let's do blue. All right, there we go. So you have that bud. That bud is really important. That bud in there, and then the top of that rose. And then it keeps getting smaller and smaller and stuff in there. All right, let's do this. I'll put this in the chat. Let's put this in the chat. All right, Yelena, good night. You're welcome. I think I did have fun tonight. I'm having fun. Little clear all drawings. Let me get this and put it in the chat. I know Yelena, she used to stay up with us. She's on Pearl time. Pearl has she's on the East Coast. Let's see. There we go. Copy that. Put it in the chat. She has just addressed it to myself. There it is. All right, there it is. There's the rose. And stop sharing. Feel free to take a break if you'd like and come back for that. We're going to draw that I should stretch. I feel like it's a good time to stretch. I gotta stretch. I can feel my legs kind of boom, boom, boom. Well, there's a lot of nice little bugs here, like a Bug's Life. This one especially too is kind of like Bug's Life. Hopper. All these insects. Really neat. In fact, mosquitoes. Oh, I don't like mosquitoes, but they like me. Ladybug. All right. Let's put this book away. I don't know if I'll draw any more from here. All right, so let's get going on that rose. Rose, a rose by any other color, it still smell as sweet, or would it? How does it go? All right, we're gonna go. Ooh, I wish I could turn the whole screen, but we are limited in size here. We're limited in size as far as. Let me zoom out. So we can start. Yeah, we have all this space around here. I wish I could. Well, I know I can. But there's a program I'll be able to put the rose there as I draw over here. But for now, or maybe when I edit this video, we need our circle. Where's our circle? There's our rose. It's going to be right in there. Wham. Right there. Then you've got that other part behind it. That's going to kind of be right about in there, a little bit smaller. About there, right behind it. Then you've got this other one. It's a little bit smaller too, like right in here, right in here. And the relationship of that, I didn't really mention that. I should have drawn some lines going from our big rose to this whole other, where our leaves are going to go. And the way it kind of like swoops and swoops out. This whole stem is right there. So it comes in and then out. There's that stem. And all these leaves right in there, and then all that. Now, we've simplified it so much to 1, 2, 3 shapes and a line. And it's so complex. It is so complex. This is so complex. So now let's break it down into smaller shapes and let's zoom in. And let's jump into this. So hopefully, actually, why don't I leave that there for a second to make sure you have it. So we've got the circle shape where our rose is going to go. We got one set of leaves, and we got another set of leaves, and then we got the stem kind of coming out right in there, kind of like a lollipop. It's almost vertical, slight angle change, and still kind of like vertical right in there, fitting on my whole paper there. All right. Are you ready to rock and roll? Are we ready to rock and roll? Should we use green or red? A red rose, green rose. I had green. All right. Is that too close? That's good. That's good. Okay, so now I'm focused on just the rose. The rose, we got the main part. That's that main part that kind of goes in here. See, that's the bud of the rose. I know the bud of the joke. The bud, and then the top is that right in there is that top of that rose right in there, kind of like that. And that's it. That's it. All the petals kind of go around off of that. Definitely need to stand up a little more. All right, so how are we going to approach this? I think should we go from the inside out? I think so. This is making a decision here. Inside out, outside in. I am getting the structure. Here we go. Why don't we break it down a little bit more? So we've got this shape here, and then we've got a petal. Yeah, I'll break it down a little more before I start getting into it. This is kind of breaks into that way. This little breaks in there. We've got another petal here. You got another petal right in here. It goes underneath this petal. That angle. Underneath that petal is another petal right in here, and curving around this way. And then you've got another petal. This is the bottom petal in here. It's a geppetto. Nah, just kidding. My daughter does that. Just kidding. And then this other petal that kind of sticks up in here, right in there. There we go. And that's it. These are the big petals on the outside, and here's the bud and the other petals on the inside. A lot of detail in here. This is where all the little detail in here. This is where it's going to take a lot of time in here. This bud, but what's important is trying to get this feel of this bud, the bud shape, this form, because then everything else kind of come in here, and it's right in here, right in there. That's where the inside of that flower is. Let me break this down a little more too. There's another kind of like petal there, another petal as it opens up and gets really tight in here. All this stuff, and then there's lines, a lot of lines for shading, All right, we'll start off with the centerpiece. All right, the centerpiece is kind of like this right here. This is the dark. This is the first actual drawing I'm doing, dark, pushing hard. It's kind of like a little circle with a little tail on it. That's the middle piece right there. It's got a little bit of a tail, a circle right in there. Then it comes down on the sides, like right in here. I would say kind of like that. I would say like a little volcano shape. Right, so there's a little volcano shape, and then behind it, I'll say it's a petal, like a little petal back here, just a slight small petal behind that. Hit that little petal behind it on the left side. And here I'm going to put a petal in front of it, right in here, petal in front of it right there. And it's got shading and stuff and lines, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to put a little bit of overlapping and put a little petal going to the left. So right in front of that, right here, see, there's a little petal. I'm going to make it go that way, and maybe even try to curve around right in there, kind of like that, kind of like that shape right in there like that. And notice how it fits, how it's in this top half, that circle part right there, that little part. We still have our bud here. You want to try to keep and maintain that form of the bulb. I mean, if I just bring out my clay, there it is. I'm going to roll it into a ball. It's basically is a ball. It really is a ball, and it's a tapered ball. It's really just like making a ball, like a ball, and then just pulling on it or squeezing it so it tapers, and you have this almost a cone. Almost like a cone shape. It's like a cone and a sphere put together, and you have this there you go, have this bulb shape. And that's what's going on in here. That's what's going on in there. That's what you want to try to capture. And that's what this is, actually this line right in here. I think yeah, let's see. We're going to go up and around this shape right in there, and just bring it down, looking like that. Yeah. And then that another petal that kind of comes on the other side. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening. There's a lot of ins and outs. I'm going to put in another little line, petal kind of coming up this way. And there's a lot of detail, a lot of little stuff. I am cutting a lot of corners on this rose. It has a date. I thought it had a name. Done 06/18, 4 years ago. All right, this other petal kind of coming out here. It's got a little indentation, a little triangle part, and then it curves out and back in like that. Looks like a nose right in there like that. This curves up like that. All right, there's that part. All right, so here we're going to start off with our first big petal. This big petal is this petal right here. It's this whole form of the bud, but there's a little bit of a curve. There's two parts because it's curling. So that I'm going right there, and then I come up and around, curving around it like that. And then it curves out. So you're seeing this top of this petal kind of curling over into a piece like that, and then coming down like that. There we go. All right, and then there's this part, this line right there. Oh, and that's that part of that bud. All right, we have this, the bud would continue here, but there's a petal that's overlapping it. So this petal here overlaps this bud part in here. So this is that part of the petal, kind of up and up through here, kind of like that. And that's also curving over, like the top petal here does curve over. So there's that line. And then this next one, give you a second to catch up. And this top, this curve this way, like this, like that, and then out like that, kind of part of the petal that sticks out because of overlapping. And then here's the bud part, the bud. There's the bud. There's the bud of the rose, the bud of the joke. All right. There's let's do this petal behind here. It kind of comes out to a point right about here, right about there. I'm gonna go out like in this one angle, curves back up to that point, then it curves back around this back part right in there like that. There's one petal. And then this other petal in here, kind of coming out, coming up and over, comes to a point right about here, and then changes direction, but it's all kind of curvy or rounded. Not, yeah, there's little bumps and stuff here and there. But these are the important points. This right here, this point, and then this point here, there's kind of comes up and there's a little bit of a bump. Then it comes up over, comes back down. This is a petal that's behind. Actually, yeah, it goes in. I'll put in shading. I mean, there's a lot of cross or hatching. I don't see any cross hatching, actually just hatching. Yeah, it's hatching for shading, but I'll just shade it. I'll shade it after. All right, we've got like four more petals and we're done with the rose. Notice how big these other petals are. Again, here's a point, there's a point there, and then here's another point here, and it curves down here. So it's going from right about here out to there. Notice how that curves there, and then comes down from that point, curves around, up and down, and where did it go? It goes under this petal here, under there like that. There we go, like that. Yeah, like an elephant's ear. All right, there's that one. Pedal on the right. Let's back pedal. Here. A little bit of a curve. And then there, back up and over. And then back up and back like that. Kind of hard to describe, kind of a little more, have to really see the form and the size. It's almost as big as the, actually I made mine bigger than the bud petal. It's about the same. It should be actually a little bit smaller. I went a little bit bigger. It's all right. It's all good. It's all good. All right, last two petals. Here's this one's Zuzu's petal. Zuzu's petal. All right, it's that season. All right, it does kind of come down to a point right here. All right, it comes down to a point and then changes angles. So, but it's all rounded. So there's a point right about in here. It goes right in there, and then it changes angles, curves out, and around right there like that. Oh. See, there's that petal. And the last petal, the back petal. Curve that there. It just curves up and down, kind of up and down. And then I'm just using, oh, this is excellent. I'm using my blind contour skills. If you practice your blind contour drawing, and that would be one of the lessons that will be available. It's just drawing without seeing your paper. But that's how I kind of did that. And I can actually feel it. I can actually feel that skill. If you practice it, you can actually just feel that skill. And it's like, oh, it's kicking in. It's a really tough exercise. All right, I'm just going to really quickly just add shading here and there. I wish I don't have to wish. I can look for it or open up a box of colored pencils. I have quite a few. Where did let me see, I'm looking for a red one. No, I don't have it available. I see a red marker. Well, I can use a red marker, but yeah, why not? Let's use a red marker. I'm just going to go in there and just add. Oh, I think this is going to be harder for shading. Let's see. I think a colored pencil would be better. Oh, this marker is not that great. There goes that. Let's throw this one away. I see a good set of colored pencils. This is a Prismacolor. These are a Scholar set. Prismacolor is really good. I'm not going to open that up. Keep that new. Here's the colors. There we go. There we go. These are the watercolor pencils that I have. So I have a few sets available. Definitely need to. As soon as I'm done with the panels and these paintings, and all right, I'm gonna go ahead and shade. So I'm gonna shade. I'm just gonna go on here, going darker, and shade. Especially like right in here, there's some shading in the actual picture. It really makes that the bud part of the flower pop, because this is dark and dark around it. It's really just pushing and pulling and just slightly shading. I'm actually going in really quickly, but you can see how that pops. And then I'm going to shade lighter. I'm just going there, shade different areas, different parts, give it some form. It's understanding form, shading form. If you can get it, great. If not, I can tell you this is more advanced. I'm not going to spend that much time on it, but you can see the direction of the line, almost the contours of these lines. If you look at the original drawing, I'm just shading it to make it look interesting. All right, and give you some time to catch up. Shading's not a big deal. Catch up if you want to catch up. Shade everything real quickly. There it goes. There's the rose. I've been kissed by the rose. There we go. Now we can use back to the green. We got our we can see all these petals right in here. These petals, these are leaves now. The leaves are going to be in here. Now I know the general implied shape. Now we're going to break it down into smaller shapes. There's going to be one here, one in here. And I'm just putting like circles, another one here, and another one here. There's three, actually four. These two are the main ones, and then the one hidden back here, and then that one right there. Oh, sorry. Didn't move my paper. All right, so there's 1, 2, 3. This one, this main one, the second one smaller, and another one back here. And this was really cool because it's slightly changing. It's a rhythm. There's a rhythm in this. And there's a point right about in here. There's a point there. There's a point there. And there's a point up in here, right in there. Those are the points that this kind of comes down. I'm going to simplify. There's a lot of this is a shape there. And it's got a serrated edge. I mean, it's like serrated edge. It's serrated, it just kind of goes back and forth like that. I'm not shooting for accuracy. I'm just going to shoot for that. There's the inside part of that petal this way. Oh, Victor. And then there's this here, that there, that there, that there, that there, and that there. There's one leaf. Yeah. Let's see. 843. Who could that be? Bitcoin is down. Ethereum down. Down. All right. Cool Jazz. Afternoon of Cool Jazz over 40s. This is a meetup. We're gonna advertise at meetup. Somebody's meetup. Cool Jazz. Where? All right. So there's a lot of stuff happening with these leaves. I'm gonna just I simplified it somewhat. Ooh, so Sunday, September 20th at the El Camino College in Torrance. This
What's
group,
happening?
there's an afternoon of cool jazz. Let's take a look. Here it is. Afternoon of cool jazz, free entrance, dinner to follow. El Camino College, right side of 40 LA, over 40s. I'm sure you don't have to be, but it's okay. Just heard of this group in Sedona, Arizona, and they were fabulous. Well, they are an Air Force band, so we know automatically they kick butt. Something like that. 16-piece jazz ensemble band. Wow. El Camino College, and probably look that up. Torrance, California, Sunday from 3 to 5. Airmen, Airmen of Note. Yeah, you're gonna have to probably look at that. Airmen of Note live. Oh, sounds interesting. Jazz at El Camino College. So I can probably look that up. The 20th. All right. So these leaves have shading and stuff, texture. I'm putting and it's actually darker on this side, on the right side. It's darker on the right side than on the left side. I'm just kind of shading it in, kind of like hatching. But I'm keeping the left side look a little bit lighter, the right side a little darker. I don't do it really quick without, it's just skill, just years. So I don't know if you want me to slow down, I can slow down, but it's 8:43 already. Wow, time flies. Serrated edge all the way around down to a point. And actually it is kind of like scribbles, but I've observed and drawn these before. So it is kind of like a serrated edge. It actually does go in a certain way. And there's the center stem. And yeah. See, there's two main ones and they are off. They're not, let's see, it goes off. 1, 2 on that side, and then another 2, 1, 2. And then maybe 1 in there. And again here, the right side a little bit darker. Ooh, right in here, especially at the bottom here, really pops that. There's contrast, high contrast, which this is a really dark part of that leaf. Right, probably the darkest part. Then it gets a little bit lighter. Then a little bit lighter in there. I'm just scribbling it in. I'm just scribbling, but I'm using several things. I'm kind of shading, scribbling, texture. I know it's a little complex. Just do the best you can.
Eladio, I was wondering how to get the white, the white lines in the leaf.
Yeah.
I see it's interesting how you did it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it again? Can you do another one like that? And because
Sure.
the leaf on the right that has more of the white, I think.
Yeah.
Can you show us how you did that again?
Yeah. And actually, I've got more leaves coming in on this right side. So yeah, definitely the ones on the right, I'll show it. So basically, I do have that line there, and when I'm shading, I do leave that a little bit of space because those are in the drawing. Actually, here oh no, I lost it. Here, this one's kind of flat. I'll just shade this one out, and these other leaves on this side do have it. So we'll do those right now. So yeah, good point. I will, and I know I'm going a little fast. Sometimes don't explain stuff, especially just feel it's getting late. I want to just draw without explaining. And all this is just flat. This one's just mostly just flat. This one, I kind of put a little point to it. I'm just shading it flat. See, notice how smooth and flat I shaded. And then here I am shading, and I'm shading inside this shape. And then here I'm pushing a little bit harder to make it darker. These are the Crayola watercolors, pencils. There we go. All right, so they do come down to a stem here. The stem is in front of stuff, so I'm gonna draw the stem, and then I'll draw all these other leaves. There's 5 leaves on this side. On this side was 3, so this side is 5. It looks like there's 2 stems. There's 1, and then there's the main stem. There's like the main stem on the right, pretty thick. coming down straight curves, and then here is where it goes into these other leaves. So this is important. As it comes down here and curves out, this here, it goes out at this angle, and it goes up into one leaf that's going to be right about there. Another leaf right about in here. You see, I already have my circle there. Another one that comes out right about here. And the other two, there's overlapping. There's one here and then another one behind it, right about there. And I kind of drew them as circles. So I'm just really worried about the height, the width, and how it fits. Right, how it fits in there. There's space because this actually is cut in half because this is tilted in space. This leaf here is tilted in space. All right, there it is. So this is important, the way it each of these stems are hooked onto it. So you want to get this up to that one, this one curving out to this one, and this just attaches itself to this one, and this one attaches itself to this one that's underneath, and then this one up in here like that. See, so you can see each one attached. And they don't go across from each other. They actually, so first one and then another one, then the other one, and then the other one. They're not across from each other. Okay. So here we go. Let's draw the one in the back. This one in the back is, there's some overlapping or underlapping. This leaf actually comes behind. I'm going to push it back a little bit, and there it is. And it comes up to a point. Then it comes down like there, and these yeah, like that. And it's a serrated edge all the way around. Yeah, and actually look at, watch this. This is what it is. It kind of goes like this. These that edge of that leaf. I've seen these serrated edges, and the way it kind of goes like that. If you can get it to line up, great. That's how they look, but I'm just scribbling them, scribbling them in. Well, that's what the artist did. He just scribbled them in. Sometimes when you're just sketching really fast and just capturing the feel of it. But if you understand the structure, how it's actually, I mean, these are like little shark fins, how each one of these things look like. And that's observing and making it part of your observational arsenal. All right.
Hilario, I noticed you don't use pencil sharpener to sharpen your pencil.
No.
Yeah, it looks like a more natural edge there.
Yeah, I use a blade. I use a blade to cut and you actually, and it saves on the pencil. Really, you get to use more of the lead, because if you use a sharpener, you're really just on a sharpener, which we'll be talking about next. Because that's what we're going to be drawing. We got two different sharpeners here. If you use a sharpener, you're really because the whole lead here, you're really only using a little bit. I mean, because it cuts off a lot. Yeah, so I like using a blade. You get more of the and you can actually get a point to what you'd like if you need to. All right, so here, this is interesting here. Let's zoom in. Actually, I'm going to draw them all. Let's draw them all out first, and then I'll talk about coloring and shading them one by one. I'm going to move this leaf over a little bit, bring it back. Just as far as space-wise, looking to see how it fits and how it relates to the other one. It comes up to a point. You see it. This is the shape. This is the shape of the leaf here. And the only thing is the edges are serrated. This is the shape. And then I can just go in there, and it looks like that's what they did. There's no real shoot for accuracy, but I see the shape of the leaf, and then just the detail of the serrated, kind of like going around it all the way to that point, and then back down this way. Now the size and the shape and all that stuff, those are variables that can change. So if it looks, I mean, if you're doing it really big like this, you're gonna get it, you know. So it's really getting that, I don't know how I would say the feel, the size of it. All right, so now the inside part of this one's definitely going to be the first one to show, and I'll describe this as I go up. So there's the middle of the stem. Then you have a triangle here, or yeah, 2 angles there. That's 1, 2, and then 3, like that. Just so 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3. Just 3. So if you do this, find this, aim for the middle, this one, and then do 1 above it, 1 below it. That'll, and watch your spacing. And then you watch how I shade this. So when I'm shading this, I'm actually shading around it. These lines are actually implied somewhat. And I'm shading and I'm leaving the white space. So I'm shading just like here and here, this little triangle right in there, and try to keep that white space right there, that white space. So I'm shading just right in there and keeping that white space around it. Shading in here, keeping that white space around it. Shading in here, keeping that white space around it. See that little white space. It's intentional, and it's a little bit of practice. Do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, here we go. I'm going to keep right under these lines, right under the top of these lines, leaving the white space. So I'm going to go down, 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 down. See that white space? Here, same thing, down, 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 down to the line. See a little bit of white space. Down, 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 down. See a little bit of white space right above it. See, it makes it even look like it's shiny. And actually the right side's a little bit darker, so I can actually go back in here and give it another dose. A second dose, a dose trace quattro, to make it darker. This side of the leaf a little bit darker. See, because it is darker and kind of gives it a little more form. On this side is just a bunch of scribbles. Same thing though. I mean, there's 2 parts. There's 3 parts. So there's that one center part, and another part, another part, another part, right there. See that? And keeping that white space. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps. Now that should help. All right, let's do it 3 more times. This one here, it's coming up and over, and this is half. It's actually curved out. Interesting. It comes to a point. Comes to a point right there, and this is a whole other side of that leaf. It's bent, and the right underneath that line is that white space. So I could kind of leave that little bit of that white space, and I'm just go in there. See, it's left a little bit of that white space. And then here, I'm going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to do the dark right against that line. I'm going to go dark. You see that one dark right here, that dark spot. See, notice how that white line kind of just shows up right there. And then I'm going to just shade out. Let's see, right there. Whole different value up to that point. Bam. Wow. Let's take a look out. See what we've done. See how far we've gone on our journey. Look at that. Wow.
That looks great. Thanks.
Thanks. I don't know if I have my see my spotlight. No, I'm not. There we go. Yeah, well, I got my spotlight. All right, let's zoom in a little more. We're down to the last 2 leaves, and then sharpen up the stem, and we're done. Maybe go to that sharpener. Wow, it's going to be 9 o'clock. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought. That's all good. It's all good in the hood here. All right, so we've got this oval shape here, and behind it, another leaf with a little bit of overlapping. Yes. Okay, don't forget any of the leaves. No leaf behind. All right, feeling a little punny today.
You're on a roll, Eladio.
Oh. Here we go. All right. So here we go. Let's do this back leaf first. So there's one behind. It comes down to a point. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do the one in front first. Sorry. So the one in the front, let's do the one in the front. This leaf in the front comes to a point right about there, right there. And it kind of almost comes to two angles. It kind of comes down here and then goes back, but it's curved. Okay, I can see it kind of almost comes down to a point. And this is the shape of that leaf right there. That's the kind of the shape. And then around there, it's just that serrated serrucho, serrated edge as it just kind of comes all the way around to that point. Then it comes back over this way, back to its origin. And then this line here curves out, the stem curves out and down to the point, curves out and down to the point, right? And then we have our three. So I'm going to do the middle one first here. This is the middle one this time. This helps actually with your spacing. If you're having trouble with the spacing, find the center, just like that. And then all you need to do is find the center again on this side. And then find the center on this side. Look at that. That's a spacing problem that was just solved right there. Boom. So if you had trouble with spacing, there it is. And there's the drawing, right? There's the drawing. Again, let me repeat that because that was actually brilliant. Here we go. I did this and then I drew this center one, this center line, and then I broke that in half and half again. All right. Seeing the parts in the whole, seeing the parts in the whole and the whole in the parts. And now I'm going to shade it with right under behind it, that little white line I'm going to try to keep. So I'm going to go from this line here and then stop right before this next line. So I'm going to go here and just shade it, shade. Notice I left that line. Same thing with this one. Shade. Leave a little bit of that white line. Then here I'm going to get rid of that line. And shade up, and leave that little bit of a white line right there. A little bit of a white line. White line. So here we go. Gosh. Here we go. And this side is a little bit darker. So I'm going to go darker again. Probably can go back afterwards if I need to make it darker. And then do the same thing on the right side, but not as dark. And then just do the same thing. Just leave a little bit of a white line. I missed it. Oh, and it's okay if you didn't. Yeah, I went backwards on that one. That's all right. It's all good. Nobody's gonna notice. All right, our last leaf, the one that's behind. All right. This one definitely. This whole side is darker on this side. It's going back and to the outside again. Serrated to a point. There's the point. Back, and then this line this way, and then here again 3. So this time actually there's 2, 1, 2, like that. Actually 2 spaces. Let's say 2 spaces, 2 lines this way as well, like that. This side is darker, so I'm going to go from here inside. This is that line going that way out. Leave a little bit of that white space, and then this way too. Shade it a little bit out, and shade it a little bit out. There we go. You can see how that's all dark, and then all this on this other side is just like I can actually really just shaded it in. There it is. Ba-dum. That looks good. A little bit of lines in there. See, I mean, you can. It gets lost in here. It gets some of the stuff just gets lost. You don't have to perfectly delineate. Like this one's just flat, and this is kind of flat. This half is just flat. All right, now with this stem, it's pretty simple. And just going out and putting it in, but there is a zoom out. I just put it in. Sorry, I just put it in real quick. I just did this line out of camera. Is a shadow to it. There's a shadow to it, and that's on the right side. So there's a little bit of a stick that sticks out, like there was another set of leaves that were going to come out. Try to get it to be parallel. Comes out like that. And then there's shadow lines on the right side. So if you can get some shadow or cut it in half by doing some shading, shadow on one side. I mean, they've got cross hatch lines, but half of it is in shadow on the right side. There we go. And voila. Voila, mon ami. We are done. There we go. Da, 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 da. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Thanks. Good night, Nina. Good night, all, she said. Thank you, Eladio. This was fun. This is my first drawing class lesson. I hope to attend next week. All right, Adelina. Good night. What was the site that leads you to the YouTube site? Something beginner.net. Oh, yes. It's going to be, it's not working right now. I don't even know what it's going to. Let me see what it goes to. It's supposed to be absolutebeginner.org. Absolute beginner.org. I think it's going nowhere. .org. This site can't be reached. Yeah. No, it is absolutebeginner.org. I'll put it in the chat. It's not connected to anything. It should be connected to something by tomorrow. It should be connected to our YouTube channel tomorrow by in 12 hours, by 9 o'clock tomorrow. In 12 hours, 9 a.m. whatever time it is now. Absolutebeginner.org. That should be it. All right. Take a little break, a little stretch. We're gonna get to drawing the that'll be how to get to my YouTube channel, absolutebeginner.org.
Absolutebeginner.org.
Absolutebeginner.org. That's where our YouTube channel is I'm gonna make that link to my YouTube channel. It'll make it easier for people to get to the YouTube channel. Another way to get to the YouTube channel, I guess. Let me see. Let me share my screen. The other way is to go to right now is to Sketchbook Hero. So if you go to sketchbookhero.com, that'll take you to raptodraw.com. sketchbookhero.com, that'll take you to here. And then here's our videos. You can get the here. You can click on this one, YouTube channel. Click on that. That'll take you to our YouTube channel. You can see last week's video. The week before that, we found to draw a horse, and we've been at it for a while already. Click on videos, 54 subscribers now and going up. And then yeah, all these videos, back when I used to wear a hat. And bugs. Some of the videos are good, some of them are not as good. I am going to go back and edit them. And yeah, some really good ones. You can, what's cool about these is this is a good one. You can just scrub through them. This is just 1 hour. So yeah, you can scrub through them and see, oh, that's a good one. You see, and then you can see how I take it step by step, and that was a pretty good one. That drawing there. Come on, you can do this. All right. Terrible Ted Cruz rescues Herschel. Hey, that's me.
We'll keep going. There's the insight part here. It's all
I cringe. But anyways, there they are. There's our and this is awesome because you can see the form, see the angles, right? It's just this wedge shape, and then you just cuts out to make this sharpener. I'll draw this pretty quick. This will be a quick drawing. I'll go there. Oh, ambient occlusion. That was a good one. I shared that earlier. Let's see. Pyramids, high resolution. Is this? Oh no. I lost it. There's something in the chat. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone. Good night, Ken. Let's go back here. Oh, I click here. Yeah, it's fun to navigate when I created that, so I know. Here we go. There we go. That's next week, the 17th. 3,091 members and growing. That's awesome. New photos, events. Today's it's past. Probably today's already ended. Past one. Yeah, past events. We'll go for a little bit longer. Actually, my batteries are running out. I gotta stretch. You see, 68 people signed up. We only had like 25 or 26 show up at the most right now. Right now, we're down to 14. You hardcore heroes, still at it. Oh, we had 9 comments. Wait a minute, I didn't see the comments. I did put one comment, and I saw like another comment, but I didn't see that many comments. We have a lot of comments, and take a look at the comments. Oh, here we go. I'll just Oh, somebody had trouble getting in. I'll just have to join next time. Oh man. Thanks everyone. I won't be able to make it. Hopefully. Oh, I get figured out next time. Shoot. Try grit. Yeah. Thank you, Brian. Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, is that still the right password?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah. See, if you go to our website, actually sketchbookhero.com or even Rap to Draw. I have all these websites. Rap to Draw. If you go to sketchbookhero.com, I'll show you there because that's where we were. Sketchbookhero.com. Then you go to the home site, click on home. Here, all you need to do is click on this oval here, and it'll take you straight there. It'll take you straight there. And you know what? There was another one too. I think I did. Oh yeah, I did change it. Sketchbook Warrior. So if you go to sketchbookwarrior.com, sketchbookwarrior.com, sketchbook warrior, there it is, warrior.com. That takes you to the Zoom. Sketchbook Warrior, there it is. See, Zoom. It takes you to the Zoom and log in to the Zoom. Sketchbook Warrior. Yeah.
Is it expensive to have all these websites, Claudia?
That's actually, they're $12 a year each. Each is just $12 a year.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it does add up, but yeah, it's $12 a year.
That's pretty cheap. Cool beans. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you need one set up, I mean, you go to domains, domainsgoogle.com.
Cool.
And, there it is, Google Domains, and you can see I've got a bunch. Actually, some of them I'm turning them off. I had some deleted. Airfriedfresh.com, I had that one. Custom Blazing, I had that one. I let it go back in November. I have 10secondmedia.com. I have absolutebeginner.org. That's the one. See, absolutebeginner.org. That's the one. It goes to none. Animationhighschool.com. That's a good one. I like that one. Brainboxtools.com. Calandriawatch.com. Daily TikTok Show. I'm gonna delete that one. That's students artwork, dsnarts.com. Actually, that's a cool website. He put it together. It's not is it going there? DSN, did he? Yeah, it should be forwarding to his website. Huh. DSN Arts. I don't know. And then EladioChavez.com, EladioDabs.com. Yeah, I have a lot. Yeah, I need to get rid of a lot of them. This is my mom's oracionelsereno.com, para pagos, raptodraw.com, raptosketch.com. Yeah, there's a lot of $12 charges here.
That adds up.
Yeah, it does. I need to get rid of some of these. tvfamilyportraits.com, VR Free Minds, vScanU, yeah. What do we want.net? I like that one. What do we want.net? Yeah, and I need to get rid of some of these. Stop paying. I get these ideas. All right, cool. So there we go. So back to Sketchbook Hero. Oh, Proco, this is actually a really good community. I really like the way I'm actually I'll put this in the if you want to join a community of drawing, they have a lot of free lessons and stuff. I've been following this guy for a long time. He's got a lot of good stuff. Proco.com, especially if you more advanced people who are here now. Proco.com. There's a whole community and stuff. It's really good. Sign up for it. Wow, a note on self-harm and suicidal ideation. This is great stuff. Yeah, it's what should you avoid doing. This is really good stuff. I want to actually I'm going to push people to here because he really takes people to the next level. They have lessons, they have all kinds of stuff. Hey, look at all this stuff. It's really, really good stuff. I mean, this stuff is like boom, next level. Next level. Look at breaking it down to basic drawing. This is a new course he was talking about, but he's selling it. But you see just basic shapes.
What's the name of that?
Proco.com. But he does charge for a lot of these, he charges. That's the thing, he charges for a lot of this stuff. I really think this one should be free, drawing basics. If you want to pay for something. I don't know. But it's the same stuff we cover.
No quiero pagar por nada.
But he does have a lot of free stuff. He does have a lot of free stuff. Look at lines, perspective, values, edges, premium benefits, yeah, step-by-step process. Yeah, same thing.
That's for enjoyment.
Yeah. He's charging $97.
No.
You can see some of his lessons on YouTube.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
Yeah. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got a lot of stuff. He's been out for a while. He's really good. Yeah, and there's he's one of the better ones.
The problem that I see with the YouTube tutorials is they speed them up. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then so I can't follow them very well, but
Yeah.
it's
Well,
not like doing it in real time.
Yeah, it's good and bad. I think if they explained it and then you can speed up and slow down and can actually pause it and rewind and stuff like that, and that's a good thing. But yeah, sometimes they do go a little fast, or sometimes it's just they're just showing you do that. They don't explain it. They just do
Yeah.
it. And they just speed
It's
it
a
up.
drawing that might take like 2 hours and they
Oh,
speed
yeah.
it up to like 30 minutes or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've been here over 2 hours. It's 9 o'clock. We started at 7, 8, 9, yeah, over 2 hours already. All right, let's draw this. Here we go. Yeah, wrap the sketchbook warrior. Yeah, see, sketchbook warrior goes to the Zoom. Yeah, it's sad when people can't get on. I don't know. It's and I mentioned it inside. Yeah, sketchbook hero. Let me see. Yeah, I mentioned it inside the on the meetup.
Wrap to draw takes you straight to the Zoom thing too. That's what I always get on with now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's like it takes you to the homepage, your homepage.
Yeah, wrap to draw does take you to this page. Yeah.
Yeah. And I told a coworker too, I was like, you just click.
Yeah, wrap to draw and just click here. That's and the other one is, well, now if you go straight to sketchbookwarrior.com, it'll take you to the Zoom straight. It's actually faster. Well, it's maybe a second faster. I don't know.
I'll have to try that because I've had trouble getting on too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why some people, I know Meetup has trouble sometimes, but I have some new photos already. I don't know if I've seen them. So yeah, past events for today's event. Here we go. Today's the 10th. Wow, man, we're almost another month, ending another year. All right, let's take a, yeah. All right, so
Eladio,
yes.
YouTube is sending out announcements saying that they're going to change the handle. Do you know what that is?
Handle, probably the address. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't.
No, they're giving you an option of choosing a name for yourself, a handle for your own channel. If you want to change what you already have.
Uh-huh.
So they're giving you the option of choosing a new name for yourself, for your own channel, if you have a channel.
If you have couple of videos, is that?
If you have a YouTube, do you have a YouTube channel up? Because if you wanted to change your name, now would be the time.
Okay, because I just have few video of my kids. That's it. Nothing major. To change the channel.
I mean, you should have gotten a second email from them explaining more about it.
Uh-huh.
So check your emails. You should have gotten the second one. There's one that went out sort of giving you a warning, and then there was another one that said, okay, now you can do it. First they were telling you you're going to be able to do it. Then they sent out another one saying, okay, now do it.
I see. Okay.
I have a YouTube channel also, but I'm not changing anything because I hardly ever use it. So whatever.
Yeah, I hardly use it either.
And then you can just share the link to if you're going to share a video. You can also, if you don't want to share, put it on YouTube, you can go to have a Google Drive and upload your videos there and then share the link, share that link. All right.
Good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right.
Share the link.
Trying to get back here. Let me see. Where's my comments at? Huh. All right. There we go. Where's the comments for this class? There's this comments. See more comments. Oh, here we go. This is the one I was looking for. So there's the tugboat. Oh, I don't know if I have time for this tugboat. Oh, this is a really interesting, nice tugboat. I don't know if Leanna's here. Is she here? I don't see you. No, she's not here. That's a really nice. Oh, well, then we're not doing the tugboat. She was really interested into tugboats. Really nice watercolor painting of it. A lot of nice stuff happening here. Really nice watercolor effects in the background, wet into wet. There's a wet techniques, and here's a dry on wet techniques. Once you know the techniques, you can actually see them. Here, probably maybe some white. So there's that tugboat. There's Pippi and the sharpener. Definitely will do the sharpener. If I have enough gas, we might just stop here. Anyways, here's the sharpener. This is actually probably a nice way to end. I feel like I'm running out of steam a little bit. It was a shooting star. And then the sharpener is the next level. The shading and the value, all this stuff would just take time to really get and explain and practice and all that stuff. So we're just really gonna just take it to this level. But you can see from there to there is that much. The angles change. The angles change. It's not exactly the same sharpener. The angles do change. So this is actually, you can see this more of a top view, and this one is actually more of a straight on view. And these lines actually would go back to a vanishing point. Why don't we point that out a little bit, annotate it. Let's break it down. Break it down. Let's break it down. Here we go. Yeah, so let's see, here's this line here. Well, yeah, somebody was asking about perspective. It's all angles. There's a little bit of an angle there, but going from there, that corner. See, almost parallel. They do taper slightly. I mean, it would be way far out. And this tapers as well, a little bit sharper because it's a wedge. It's tapering even further. So this actually, you can see it wedge right into here to almost like a vanishing point. I would go there. This kind of bring that down. See, that's a wedge. This here would go back up that way to a vanishing point way out there. It's really way out there. These lines are almost parallel because the vanishing point's so far out there. Now, if we get this angle.
Eladio, I'm sorry, one second. This may sound really dumb, but when you say it's really way out there, what does that indicate about the angles? It must indicate something. If you're saying it's way out there, so what does that mean? And
so all these lines will connect to a point that's way off my screen. So it's way out there. Here, these two lines here connect right here at a point. This point, and that's not way out there. That's just right here. See, this line comes up.
So is that realistic? That yes. One of the vanishing points is way, way, way out.
Oh yeah.
So that's because I'm really struggling so hard with that. That's my main problem.
Yeah, it really depends on what you're looking at, where you're looking at it. Yeah, this is really close to you. So a vanishing point would be really far out. And
looking down on it, right? It's as if it's on your desk and you're sitting and you're looking down at this object, right?
Yeah. You know what would be good for you? Oh, you got to see this video. I saw it this week. It was a mind blow. Here, I'll show you where it's at. I know exactly where it's at. It's under form. So it's on my website, my other website, my Brain Tools. So let me go back over here. Is it up here? No, Brain Tools. Let's type in B. I'll put it in the chat right now. It's under Brain Tools, my Brain Tools website. And it's under form. There's form. There it is, form and structure. There it is. Oh, you're gonna like this. How to improve your solid drawing skills. All these are here, but there's one in here. Your best basic friends. This is really good stuff. It's all under form and structure. This is the level you're at right now. You're really, remember I talk about, I tell you, oh, your forms are looking more solid. This is where you're at. Okay, so let me copy that and put it in the chat. Yeah, because this is where you're at. This is your level. You're gonna love this stuff here. Actually, all these videos and stuff, but the one that I really want you to see Look at how to draw complex forms. Is it this one? It might be this one. It's one of these draw exercises, building block for anything cubes. Let's see if it's this one. Ah, yes. Check this out. This is a really good one. See?
Our intuitive understanding of it. So
this is really good.
Right here, one of these.
There's a vanishing point.
Third vanishing point. So 1, 2.
And then he talks about, yeah, look at that. Yeah, this is really good. He's really good on this one. See, I don't have to redo this video. He already did. He talks about drawing heads, different angles too. There's that Rubik's Cube. But here you can see this, these lines here would go to a vanishing point out here. I mean, if I were to get these lines here now and move them over, they would go to a vanishing point. Let's see, watch. Even this video, it's just perspective. And it's the way the eye sees. Here we go. See right there. Bam. Bam. See, and it's going out there. And see, this one tapers a little bit more than the other one. There you go.
So this Rubik's Cube, it's not as far, the vanishing point is not as far out, correct? The one on the left?
Yeah, the one on the left, it's still kind of far out. But
It's far out as
you can see a taper. You can see, yeah. You can see how yeah, you can actually see how it's wider here, and here it's smaller. Here it's these lines are going down to, he explains it really good. So
okay, so that's Leron Yankowski.
Yeah, Leron Yankowski, yeah. Let me go
Okay.
back. Yeah. So this drawing exercise is the building block for anything goes cubes. This is the building block for anything.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and then there's all these other videos that I've put in here over time and stuff. Drawing 6 steps to draw anything from form. But this one was really good. I saw this one this week. I was like, oh, look at another Proco one. 6 steps to draw anything form. And look at these forms. Look at form. This is the level you're at right now. Or you know, or this is what you could be, a stage or a focus. And then you can move on to another stage or a focus, but this would be good for you. Creating dynamic, Peter Hahn, all these videos. All right, let's go. I'm gonna draw this. We'll draw the we'll draw the these sharpeners and call it a night. It's already 9:23. I'll just do a quick one. If there's questions, if you have questions, problems, struggling is good, but you know, and then that's when you get the best epiphany, like, oh, I got it. A lot of people are you know, afraid to struggle. So, you know, it's, you know, struggle a little bit, try to get it, and then say, oh, I'm having trouble with this, and then, wow, boom. But it's best to kind of try to figure it on your own. I've kind of laid out, you know, a pathway, a journey, doing from shapes and then to form, and then perspective, and try to, you know, take you on a course. This is my course. So of course it's not, this is what it is. All right. Yeah, there we go. Let's draw this out real quick. So we're drawing this, and I had an example. There's our example, kind of like this, but this one's more of a cube. This is more of a cube sharpener. It would taper, but this one's more of a cube. And we'll use that as a little sample. I can hold it to the camera a little closer. You can see it. All right. Here we go. Wow, we got a lot of people.
Learn the best exercise for improving your perception.
Somebody's watching one of the videos. All right, I just muted you. It's mutiny, I say. All right, so it's really simple. Just you can see how, I mean, it's just that simple form. I'm drawing this one line straight up and down. Here we go. Here's some perspective, and then I'm gonna go out at this angle here, that angle there. This line is the line with the edge that's closest to us. And then this is going back that way. I'm going to put the vanishing point right at the edge of the paper here, right at the edge of the paper. So you can have like so it's not way out there. It's something a little more descriptive. Oh, that's what I'm gonna buy. Ooh, I have one somewhere, but yeah, I haven't used my winnings from my art store. I'm gonna buy a transparent ruler so you can see these lines I'm making. Where's my straight edge? I had a straight edge around here. Let me see. There's no straight edge. Oh, here's this one. That's a good one. All right, here's a straight edge. All right, so I've got this line here. This line is straight up and down. Vertical. Diagonal. There's a vertical. And then this line here, diagonal wise, I don't know, it's almost like I would say 45-degree angle. Is it 45? I think 45 is probably there. It's probably a little bit higher than 45. A little bit higher up than a 45-degree angle here. This way up there, right to the edge of my paper. Oh, right to the edge of my paper. And then I'm going to draw this other line right to it, right to the corner. So my vanishing point is going to be, or actually it's not really a vanishing point, it's a connecting point. It's going to be right to that point up there. And up there. All right, there it is. And this line here is actually almost to the center. It's a little off center. This line's a little off center on my paper. See if I were to find the middle. Let's see, we can actually do this pretty precise. My paper's 8.5. It's like right about 4 inches at the 4-inch mark, a little bit on the left side, 4 inches. But if you put it at the 4, that would be perfect. 4 inches, and it's about 1.5 inches long. And then it goes from here, from that point above, it goes from this point, when I turn it around, it goes, this is actually a square straight edge. It goes up 3 inches. So from here, the top of this line, all the way up to my edge of my paper, 3 inches. And it goes in about 4.5. 4.5. So if you want some precise dimensions. And then both of these, the top and the bottom, go to that one point. All right. And then we have this line coming to the left. This is going to go off. These are not going to connect. These are going to go off. And if you do them parallel, that's fine. You'll see he talks about, it's called isometric, an isometric drawing. Isometric drawing is just, there's no perspective. It just goes straight back. All right. Finish the, okay, good. You're welcome. So these lines are very slightly going thin together. So if it continues on somewhere in space, they're going to connect, you know, but just knowing that they slowly taper gives you a more sense of space, better sense of space. All right. So I'm going to get here, see this thickness of this. I'm going to, cut it off right about there. See, it's a little bit longer. And I'm just going to go straight up and down. Right in there. And then up in here, I'm going to see how far I'm going to go out. Right about there. It actually should probably taper a little bit faster. I'm going to, well, it's my sharpener is going to be a little bit thicker. It should taper a little bit sooner. But it's all right. I'm going to cut it off right there. There, that's it. It's going straight up and down. So I've got my straight up and down. This line here, going back into space, that one. You can actually almost get it parallel to this. It would taper just slightly, but this same angle, slightly tapered down, would be this line here. Back that way. And this is that's why this is when you're drawing this line, you take into account the other lines. And then this line coming down this way, because it's not a vanishing point. It's just a converging point because it's a wedge. We really want to just take this angle up, and it should taper slightly down. So I'm going to bring it down. It doesn't go here exactly. It'll go down like that because it's a wedge. And then, oops. And there it is. There's the form. That's the form. It should probably taper a little bit more if we really wanted to get it to wedge more, but it's all right. I didn't, I would at this point fix it, but it's getting late. All right. So in here, it gets cut in. And these are probably thirds. If you break this into thirds, 3 parts, thirds. And here just goes straight down. I'm gonna just freehand sketch it. And here a curve again, and you would erase that. Where's my eraser? Huh, fascinating. Yeah, I gotta clear my desk. Once I'm done, next week. Never ending. Oh, here it is. All right, clean this up. This is a watercolor pencil. I should put some watercolor on it. Some water. Get my brushes. All right, there's that. Part of the sharpener. And then here it would go straight across here as well. Here as well. I mean, I'm doing it really lightly as guidelines. They're almost parallel, almost. There's a slight taper. I mean, it does converge. But from this point to that point, that's why I drew these guidelines. Should be the other side of that sharpener kind of cut out. Because, oh, this doesn't have it. It does have that, like, I guess, that little gripping to grip your sharpener. Yeah, this will be the last drawing of the night. Let's see who dedicated artists out there. Hardcore heroes. If I'm running out of gas, I can imagine. We got 9 of you. Man, still. Awesome. It's those 9, 8. A little, I think one less than last week. Last week's, probably Leanne, last week's tugboat. All right. And it's all just detail from here, really just adding the detail. There's the hole for the sharpener, which is like an oval shape, kind of goes in there. And how wide it is, the ratio would depend. Well, there's the hole for the sharp of the pencil. It's like an oval. But we know it's a circle. It's just slanted. It's tilted in space. If you want to get it more like a circle, it depends on how it's facing you. But it would be an oval shape. And then here, we're just kind of almost going parallel. This is the these 2 lines here. I'm doing them freehand. They would go to a vanishing point. I mean, they would go to a vanishing point. The vanishing point's off the paper. I mean, you can see it like if it were a long wedge. I'm just visually. And the more you practice it, the more you can actually see. I can actually just eyeball it. You get the feel for it as it tapers. That video is really good. He'll explain it. He explains it. And then here, curves. But it should kind of curve a little bit straight on this path right here with this path because it curves onto that spot. Let's see. Right here where it touches, it comes down. And that little line, and that should be vertical. There's that thickness. Back in here, a little bit of a thickness. There it is, that thickness. And then the next line, this line is the blade. There's two, so a little bit of a gap. I'm doing it all freehand, a little bit of a gap. And then the angle changes up. And then there's a second line, that's the blade itself. That's the blade. and then straight across like that. That's the blade. So there's a little bit of a shade. I'm going to shade my blade right in there. Could have used the straight edge. I feel it's a little janky. And then here we have a cylinder for that. So we have the top, which is kind of like an oval shape right in there, that oval shape with an X on it. A picture of my X. An X, a little screw. And then you just make it into a cylinder by doing the sides, bring down the sides. And then the bottom to it, little round part. Might have to bring this over a little bit. Yeah, that's good enough. Bring this, push this down and exaggerate this a little bit so there's some spacing there to see that. I just push that down and brought this up. There we go. So back and forth, back and forth. All right. Gotta go get some sleep. All right, Peggy. All right. And then a parallel line inside. There's a parallel, like a thickness. Oh, this doesn't have it. There's usually plastic like this on this little plastic thickness. It goes around it. So there's like this little thickness around here. It goes parallel. So I'm going to do that, go around it in here, parallel. Yeah. Yeah, just on the outside. It's getting late. There we go. Round, round. A little technical, but this should help. This is a part of your question. And then now it's just the shading or the texture. And I usually have like little gripping lines that kind of go up and down all the way around here. The sharpeners that I've seen, and I'm kind of doing it flat, but you can actually, I'm going to shade this because it's in here. You have some occlusion. The light doesn't bounce in here. This light bounces everywhere. Oh, that's such a good video. Explains it really well. Light, shadow, your understanding of form. And all this, one of my beliefs, one of my thoughts is basic education should be free. It should be free. If you want to, then if you're having trouble and stuff like that, then, you know, you can pay to have someone help you, but all this stuff should be free. That's my idea. That's where that absolute beginner and my standards 1, 2, 3 website, standards 1, 2, 3, the standards, the common knowledge should be common and should be free, and everybody should be accountable for it. Say, hey, if everybody should be able to teach everybody, like the forms. Okay, you should know form. You should, even if you don't know it, you should kind of like, or know how to do it. You should know, okay, that's important. And then say, hey, point out somebody who does know it really well. Hey, this person knows it, form, but that's, and we should celebrate common knowledge, common skills that everybody should know and do. It's the standards. It should be standard. That's what standard means. You go to McDonald's, you know what you're going to get. They have a standard, right? And everybody, there should be common knowledge. Everybody should know this stuff. Everybody. And if everybody knows, then we'll have more teachers. So we'll have more learning, not just one teacher knowing everything and prophesizing the professor. Well, just my thoughts. Thank you for coming. I'll get off my soap stool. A little bit of shadow. Oh. Where's my sharpener? One of these days, Alice, one of these days. All right. Right in the kiss. All right, I'm just shading the side. Just real quick. That looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. All right, questions, comments, complaints. I should zoom in. Let's zoom in.
I pressed on, but I mean, it's not really, it's okay if you don't know what it's really supposed to look like.
It's all good. It's all good. See, it's just your first time. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're learning.
But some of it is good, but not.
You'll get it. You'll get it. It's like I said, it's not about the quality, it's about quantity. When you're learning, it's about quantity. Doing it a bunch of times. The quality.
Audio, I've done it so many times. I've tried so hard. I don't know.
Watch this video. Watch that video.
I will.
And if
Thanks.
you don't get it
Yeah.
next week we'll be at it again.
Okay, thank you.
I'll get a dice. I'll get a dice and we'll draw a dice in space. That's actually a little bit easier. This one has a tapered edge to it, so. And I can do it till you get it. I mean, that's the thing.
This is really good, Ilaria. We need to do more of these.
Sure.
You want to see mine? Give me
Yes.
some advice.
Sure. This is perfect. Oh gosh, I was sharing my screen the whole time.
It's okay. I got you. I don't know.
Oh, okay. It's just your angles. It looks good. It looks good. I can see. Okay, hold on. Let me screenshot it and then I'll give you some because you asked for feedback. You can say ask for a screenshot and then I can help you out. This is awesome. This is awesome. Hold on. Let me screenshot you. Bam. All right, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. All right, cool. Let me see. Let me share my screen. And then we'll go from there. Hold on. Ready, share. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right, so here, let's open up Photoshop. Or actually, I should use I was gonna say I should use Photopea. I introduced you guys to Photopea last week. That was interesting. That's the free Photoshop. All right, here's Photoshop. Welcome to the shop. Oh, here's the panels I was working on. They want me to redo some of the lettering. It's just so much text. I'm glad they're redoing it, but I didn't do the text on this one. All right, let's do new file. There we go. Let's clipboard. Okay, create. And then paste, Control V. You can see my two screens. Let's zoom in. Let's crop this actually. Oops, crop it. All right, and then we'll zoom in. Okay, so one thing is your angles, which is really interesting. That you can see how it changed angles, changed stuff. And this is perfect, like you know,
Like the hole in there.
uh-huh.
Oh my gosh, it looks terrible. I'm looking at it. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because your axis lines. It's because of your axis lines. So let me show you. There should be an axis line. Where's my
That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you're getting.
Oh,
Do you see it?
yes.
Tiffany. Awesome. It's your axis line. So your axis line is going sideways. It should be going up and down. It should be going parallel with your
Yes, I just switched it and it
Yeah.
makes more sense. Oh my gosh, I needed to see it from far away, I guess.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so you have your axis line going here. If I were to do the axis line, there it goes like that.
Correct.
And then this one's going this way. Like that. Yeah, like all that four there. Control Z.
Look, can I show you again?
Yeah, sure.
Look, I just changed the angle of the
Yeah, there it is.
circle. Oh my
Awesome.
gosh, yes, thank you.
Yeah, and I think everything else is pretty good actually. Yeah, nice
All
and
right.
clean. It looks like you're using a ruler. I mean,
I
there's
did.
yeah, that's good. Well, that's good. I would yeah, so let me see. Get my brush here smaller. Yeah, so you already fixed that. Oops.
What else?
Okay, so
The
and just
shadow.
oh yeah, that all comes with time. All right, so you fix that. This has a taper to it. Which is interesting. It's not totally vertical, but you have they're parallel, which is awesome. So that goes here, and then this goes there,
No, I don't see what you're doing. Oh, okay.
and then here this, and then here, there. Right, that's good because these are kind of like going there. They're not vertical. Vertical would be straight up and down, like that. Right. Oops. Control Y. No, it's not working. Edit, redo brush tool. There it is. Then you have this one, and then that goes out to here, but it probably continues. And that I lost the taper. Yeah. And this one. And it's really close. Yeah, it should go to vanishing point way over there. And then here your line is going slightly up. It's going slightly up. Mine actually goes up even more at an angle, but this is fine. This looks really good. If anything, this line here, see how this line goes up at that angle? I wish I could grab it. It should, this line, oh, I should have done it on another layer. Let's add another layer right now. Hold on. Layers, new layer. There it is. Well, you don't see a difference, but there is. So here, this line here should actually be a little bit more tilted. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah, just slightly. See, this is getting really technical. Yours looks really good and clean, but because, you know, this is, and you see this one's is, it tapers. If it was exactly the same, see, I'm gonna get, see, I'm turning it. If it's exactly the same, right there, see, that's exactly the same. If I were to bring it that over now, I think that's what you've got. Almost. You're playing around in there.
Okay, just a little bit, just a dab.
Yeah, just a little bit of a dab, but you're getting an isometric drawing. See, it's just that little dab that really pushes it back into space.
Okay,
That's
I can fix it.
yeah, I'm sure. It's up to you. Or next time, or just now that you know, it's like, oh, okay, you're just aware of it. Now you've gained another level of consciousness, another level of awareness, another level of
Yeah, we need to work on this, Hilario.
Sure.
Give us more opportunities to see
Well,
your lines and angles and
yeah. Just request it. Post the pictures of something that you're trying to draw. If you're trying to draw like this, for example, like, hey, how would you draw this in space? You know, like this, the angles and stuff change. I mean, look at this, starts off with a square, there's some clay in there, square, and then as it changes in space, those angles are changing, right? The angles are changing. I've drawn this, this is one of the videos is in there, but you can see how it changes. All right, 9:48. Any other questions?
thank you, Hilario, so much.
You're welcome.
I enjoy your jokes and your knowledge. You have me laughing. So thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Good night, Hilario.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night. Good night. Thanks so much. See you next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time. Have a great weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Veterans Day. Thank you, those of you who served.
Good night, Alario.
All right. Good night.
Thanks, Claudio. Bye, all. Good work.
Thumbs up.